reinforce this message through music that is both participatory and reflective. Sung collectively by congregations and choirs, carols transform doctrine into lived experience. Their lyrics speak of joy, peace, humility, and goodwill, while their melodies evoke memory, belonging, and continuity across generations. In this way, carols bridge the sacred and the community.
Contribute to perpetuating this gender-based violence?
Yes. In fact, that is the taproot. That is where this problem is actually coming from. A situation whereby it is, for example, I grew up in Lafia as a young man. Lafia, currently Nasarawa State. As a young man, there are some homes that a man cannot just enter, and women are not allowed to just come out of such homes. So, and it is their custom, it is their norms. Now, there are also areas, for example, in some of the areas where we are working, you see some people, because their culture is saying that a woman, whatever the man says, you must accept, whether you like it or not. If your parents said, go and marry this person, you must marry such a person. And when you look at it,
Good morning and welcome to this morning's news at Aneke TV. Here are the headlines. Federal government confirms release of Nigerian aircraft soldiers after foreign affairs minister meets Burkina Faso leader. Senate President Akpabio meets U.S. envoy to strengthen bilateral relations. House of Representatives alleges constitutional breach over discrepancies in new tax laws. Court restrains IJP police from enforcing tinted glass permit policy nationwide. On the foreign scene, M23 rebels commence strategic withdrawal from Uvira, Eastern DR Congo. UN Secretary General calls for restraint amid rising tension between US and Venezuela. On business, President Tinubu to present 54.4 trillion 2026 budget to National Assembly on Friday. In entertainment, authorities release official cause of death of Rob and Michelle Rayner. Now the news in details. The federal government has confirmed the release of a Nigerian Air Force aircraft and 11 soldiers who were detained in Burkina Faso following a forced landing. The confirmation was made by the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Kimiebi Ebienfa, in a statement issued yesterday. He explained that the release came after diplomatic engagements between Nigeria and Burkina Faso. According to the ministry, the breakthrough followed a visit to Ouagadougou by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, who met Burkina Faso leader Captain Ibrahim Traoré on the directive of President Tinubu. The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) yesterday staged a nationwide protest over what it described as worsening insecurity across the country. The Labour Union called on the federal government to deploy the full machinery of governance to protect lives and property. The NLC also urged authorities to identify and prosecute individuals and groups allegedly funding criminal activities. In Abuja, the protest ended abruptly after security operatives restricted the march to the vicinity of the Ministry of Finance near the Labour House. The coalition of families affected by the banditry has petitioned President Bola Tinubu over allegations linked to the insecurity in the Northwest. The group called for an investigation into claims made by a notorious bandit leader against former governors Ahmed Sani Yerima and Atahiru Bafarawa. While acknowledging the criminal background of the bandit leader, the coalition said the allegations should not be ignored. They cited rising casualties and increasing ransom payments in the region, urging an impartial and independent probe to address the root causes of banditry. The President of the Senate, Chief Godswill Akpabio, has met with the United States Ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Richard Mills, Jr. The meeting took place at the National Assembly complex in Abuja. Discussions focused on strengthening democratic institutions and advancing legislative priorities. Both sides are reaffirmed commitment to deeper Nigeria-United States cooperation in governance and security and economic growth. A controversy has emerged in the House of Representatives over Nigeria's newly enacted tax laws. A member of the House, Mr. Absalam Dasuki, alleged discrepancies between the versions passed by the National Assembly and those later gazetted. He raised concern that the differences amounted to a constitutional breach. The Speaker of the House, Mr. Abbas Tajuddin, acknowledged the complaint and assured lawmakers that corrective steps will be taken. The Rivers State Governor, Sir Similanahi Fubara, says the state currently has a treasury balance of about 600 billion naira. The governor disclosed this while inaugurating the Obodi Ozochi Road project. He said the funds are being channeled into infrastructure development and public welfare initiatives. Governor Fubara pledged transparency and promised to publish a comprehensive account of the state's finance within 6 months. The House of Representatives has approved key clauses of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Lawmakers say the amendments are designed to strengthen the powers of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. They explained that the proposed changes would enhance transparency in the electoral process. According to the House, the amendments will also address gaps observed during recent elections and reduce post-election disputes. 2 new legal support hubs for survivors of human trafficking have been inaugurated in Enugu and Kano states. The centers were established by the Foundation of the Internalization of Public Administration. They are funded by the European Union under a Migration Governance Support Program. The hubs are expected to provide sustained legal assistance to trafficking survivors seeking justice and compensation. A Delta State High Court has issued an ex parte injunction stopping the enforcement of the tinted glass permit policy. The court restrained the Inspector General of Police and the Nigerian police force from arresting or harassing motorists. The ruling followed a legal challenge against the policy's implementation. The injunction will remain in force pending the determination of the substantive suit before the court. The federal government has dismissed 38 senior officers of the Nigerian National Security Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC. Dismissals occurred in the outgoing year following disciplinary proceedings. Authorities say the officers were found guilty of misconduct, insubordination, and other violations. The NSCDC also confirmed that the several other officers received demotions and warning letters. The European Union has reaffirmed its commitment to supporting Nigeria's security and defense efforts. European Union Ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Gautot Mignot, gave the assurance during a visit to the Chief of Defense Staff in Abuja. He said the European Union's support goes beyond military assistance. According to him, the partnership also covers governance reforms, peace building, and institutional development. The Enugu state government has announced plans to deregister all unapproved estate developments in the state. Officials also imposed an immediate ban on the advertisement of unregistered estates. The government said the action is aimed at curbing land fraud and protecting prospective property buyers. Authorities added that the move will strengthen land administration and restore confidence in the real estate sector. News around the globe is coming to you live from Aneke TV. Remember, you can stay connected with us on all social media platforms: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Now, a quick recap of the major stories making the news. The federal government has confirmed the release of a Nigerian aircraft and soldiers following the meeting between the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the leader of Burkina Faso. The House of Representatives is also alleging a constitutional breach over discrepancies observed in newly enacted tax laws. A court has restrained the Inspector General of Police and the Nigerian police from enforcing a tinted glass permit policy nationwide. Coming up shortly, M23 rebels have begun a strategic withdrawal from Uvira in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. United Nations Secretary General has called for restraint amid growing tensions between the United States and Venezuela. On business, President Bola Tinubu is to present the 54.4 trillion naira 2026 budget to the National Assembly on Friday. In entertainment, we have the official cause of death of Rob and Mitchell Rayner has been released. A Nigerian woman has claimed a world record for the tallest wig. Now we go on a short break. We'll be right back. You're welcome back. Rwanda-backed M23 rebels say they have begun withdrawing from the town of Uvira in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, describing the move as a goodwill gesture to support ongoing peace talks. The group's spokesperson, William Goma, said the withdrawal would be completed by Thursday to follow the Doha peace process to progress. The development follows strong pressure from the United States, which warned that the capture of Uvira threatened mediation efforts involving Washington and Qatar. Videos circulating online show rebel convoys leaving the town. However, the Congolese government has dismissed the announcement as deceptive. Information Minister Patrick Muyowa accused the rebels of attempting to ease international pressure on Rwanda, which continues to deny supporting the insurgency. Fighting reportedly continues in parts of North and South Kivu. A diplomatic dispute has emerged between the United States and South Africa following the arrest of 7 Kenyan nationals allegedly working illegally for a US-linked refugee processing program. South African officials say the individuals entered the country on tourist visas without work permits. The arrests occurred during a raid on a processing center linked to a resettlement program for white South Africans. The two U.S. immigration officials were also briefly detained, prompting protest from the U.S. State Department. South Africa insists the operation violated immigration laws and diplomatic protocols. Pretoria has begun talks with both the United States and Kenya as relations between Washington and South Africa continue to deteriorate. Thousands of residents of Gapes in southern Tunisia staged protests demanding the closure of a state-owned phosphate complex blamed for severe environmental pollution. The demonstration coincided with the anniversary of the 2011 Arab Spring uprising. Protesters accuse the industrial facility of causing serious health problems and damaging marine life due to toxic emissions and waste discharge. They insist that maintenance work is no longer sufficient. The protest adds pressure on President Kais Saied, who is facing economic challenges and labor unrest. The powerful UGTT labor union has also threatened a nationwide strike in the coming days. U.S. President Donald Trump has sparked controversy after installing personalized plaques criticizing former presidents along a corridor in the White House. The display, described as a presidential walk of fame, features political commentary beneath official portraits. The plaques contain harsh assessment of former Presidents Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and George W. Bush, breaking from long-standing traditions of neutrality within the White House. Critics say the move undermines presidential decorum, while supporters describe it as transparency. The White House has issued an official response to the growing backlash. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called for restraint amid rising tensions between the United States and Venezuela. The appeal follows a U.S. decision to enforce a naval blockade against sanctioned Venezuelan oil shipments. The UN warned that any escalation could threaten regional peace and violate international law. Several Latin American countries have also expressed concern over the development. Global oil prices have reacted sharply to the move as uncertainty grows over Venezuelan exports. The UN continues to urge dialogue and respect for international obligations. Now to the business news. President Bola Tinubu is expected to present the 2026 federal budget to a joint session of the National Assembly on Friday, with the presentation scheduled to hold by 2 p.m. The annual budget address is a major constitutional exercise outlining the government's revenue projections, expenditure plans, and policy priorities for the coming fiscal year. Ahead of the event, the National Assembly has issued a memo to staff and stakeholders detailing security and access arrangements within the legislative complex. According to the memo, only duly accredited personnel will be allowed entry on the day of the presentation. Security restrictions are expected to begin earlier in the day, with staff advised to strictly comply with parking, movement, and access guidelines. The measures are aimed at ensuring a smooth, orderly, and secure budget presentation. Still in the business news, President Bola Tinubu has formally requested the National Assembly to pass a 43.56 trillion naira appropriation repeal and reenactment bill covering the 2024 to 2025 fiscal period. The bill seeks to repeal existing appropriation laws and to reenact in a consolidated framework. According to the presidency, the proposal is designed to harmonize multiple budget instruments and improve transparency and accountability in government spending. It is also intended to regularize emergency and expenditures already undertaken during the period. The request comes just ahead of the presentation of the 2026 budget and is seen as part of the broader reforms to strengthen Nigeria's public finance management system and align fiscal operations with current economic realities. The Nigerian Senate has passed the Federal Audit Service Bill, repealing the Audit Ordinance of 1956 that has governed public sector auditing for decades. The new legislation is aimed at modernizing the audit framework in line with global best practices. The bill provides for the establishment of a federal audit service and a federal audit board designed to enhance the independence, efficiency, and effectiveness of the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation. Lawmakers say the reform will strengthen oversight of public funds. In the same sitting, the Senate also passed the Institute of Economists of Nigerian Bill, which seeks to regulate and professionalize the practice of economists in the country. Both bills have been forwarded to the President for assent. The Naira depreciated against the United States dollar at both the official and parallel foreign exchange markets on Wednesday, reflecting continued pressure on the local currency. At the parallel market, the Naira weakened to 1,492 Naira per dollar. At the Nigerian foreign exchange market, official figures from the Central Bank of Nigeria showed that the Naira closed at 1,458.02 Naira to the dollar. This represents a decline from the previous trading session. The gap between the official and parallel market rates widened to nearly 32 Naira per dollar, underscoring ongoing challenges in the foreign exchange market amid demand pressures and liquidity concerns. Now we bring you the news as it is in sports. Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa has announced his retirement from international football, bringing an end to a distinguished 15-year career with the national team. The 33-year-old bows out as Nigeria's most capped player with 111 appearances. Musa played a key role in Nigeria's 2013 African Cup of Nations triumph and made history as the country's highest goal scorer at the FIFA World Cup, scoring crucial goals in multiple tournaments. Following his retirement from international duty, Musa has transitioned into football administration. He currently serves as the general manager of Kano Pillars Football Club, where he is expected to contribute to grassroots and professional football development. Now in entertainment, auto dealer Aneke has popularly known as IVD, has publicly praised his partner, Blessing CEO, following his discharge and acquittal by the court. The businessman described the ruling as a moment of relief after a prolonged legal battle. IVD credited Blessing CEO for standing by him throughout the ordeal, describing her support as unwavering despite intense public scrutiny. He noted that her encouragement played a significant role in helping him through the process. The couple's renewed public appearance after the court's decision has sparked widespread reactions on social media, with supporters and critics sharing mixed views on their relationship and public declarations. Popular clergyman Pastor Chris Okafor has reportedly married in a private ceremony, even as public allegations continue to trail him. The wedding has attracted attention following claims made by actress Doris Ogala. The actress alleges a long-standing relationship with the pastor and accusing him of financial exploitation. Pastor Okafor has not publicly responded to the allegations as of the time of this report. Despite the controversy, photos and videos from the wedding ceremony have surfaced online, generating mixed reactions from the public, with debate continued across social media platforms. Still in entertainment, Nigerian wig maker Helene Williams has set a new world record for creating the world's tallest wig, measuring over 15 meters. Williams disclosed that the project took place about 2 weeks to complete and to cost over 3 million naira, covering materials, logistics, constructions. She described the process as both challenging and rewarding. According to her, the achievement reflects her dedication to innovation in hair artistry and her desire to showcase Nigerian creativity and excellence to the world. And finally, before we go on news around the globe, a recap of our top stories. The federal government has confirmed the release of the Nigerian aircraft and soldiers after diplomatic engagement by the Minister of Foreign Affairs with the Burkina Faso leader. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has met with a United States envoy to discuss ways of strengthening bilateral relations. The House of Representatives has raised concerns over an alleged constitutional breach arising from discrepancies in newly enacted laws. A court has restrained the Inspector General of Police and the Nigerian Police Force from enforcing the tinted glass permits policy across the country. On the foreign scene, M23 rebels have commenced a strategic withdrawal from Uvira in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The United Nations Secretary General has appealed for restraint amid escalating tensions between the United States and Venezuela. President Bola Tinubu is scheduled to present the 54.4 trillion naira 2026 budget to the National Assembly on Friday. A Nigerian woman has laid claim to a world record for the tallest wig. That's the news around the globe on Aneke TV. For more news and live updates, follow us across all social media platforms: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Have a wonderful morning and see you again. Bye.
From the tiniest cells to the farthest galaxies, life holds secrets we are only beginning to uncover. Why are we here? What connects us all? What unseen forces shape our destiny? Join Professor Jude Udenta as he explores the wonders, the questions, and the revelations that define existence. Mysteries of life, where every answer sparks a new discovery. Watch now on Aneke TV every Monday.
Join us on Arena, Aneke TV's premium current affairs program, where politics, development, and governance come alive. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we host top professionals and thought leaders who speak their minds on issues shaping Nigeria and the world. It's inclusive, enriching, and absolutely captivating.
The roadmap is let's have our environment secured so that investors can come.
If you don't know what economic security is, kidnapping will tell you what it is. You kidnap for ransom.
Customers are going to get these meters, and like we said, it's at no cost.
There are things that dialogue can handle. But when you leave it, and want to use a kinetic approach alone, you cannot.
For discussions that promise the truth, stay tuned, stay informed, and keep watching Arena, only on Aneke TV.
Online scams are becoming more common, from fake giveaways to phishing messages and investment fraud. We are on the street today to hear from Nigerians.
What leads to this camera is for you to get it quick, get it today. and for you to be counted, because in our society today, wealth counts. And if you have not gotten it quickly at your ripe age or at a younger age, it seems that you don't know what you are doing. I advise people to always be conscious of themselves and be contented with what you have at a particular moment.
Scammers are a turn to in our flesh. Right? They are a nuisance to the community now. People should be very, very careful. You know, don't be quick to give your information online. One, number two, don't believe everything that someone tells you on social media, because that's one platform where scammers exploit a lot to scam people.
Of course, it's not a good one, because so many people do impersonate, trying to use someone's account, like to impersonate and make money. Some used to, like some come to social media handles like WhatsApp group, they'll start begging money, that kind of thing. So such a thing can spoil people's image, so it's not good. My advice to everybody that is using social media, just be very careful with your account. Don't share your personal password. Then if you see any message in your phone, if you receive any message from your phone telling you to send so many digits, such digit number to you know, that kind of thing, to groups or phones like that, nobody should fall a victim. Don't do it. Don't respond to chat that you don't know. And you see all these people that in social media that does not use their pictures, they use people's images. All these white men images, flowers and animations. Most of them are scammers. Don't accept their requests.
Okay, scammers, you know, even in our current society, you get to see scammers on daily basis. And you know, some of them seem so simple, even just as I'm being dressed, wearing suits and all of that, but without knowing that they have an ulterior motive. And just for instance, like me, sometimes I'll get to see my phone ringing and I think that I'm getting a very important call without knowing that it's actually coming from someone who wants to scam me in per se. So I've experienced it. And my advice to those being scammed or people to people so that they will not be scammed is that they should be very careful. Most especially, they should try to tame their urge for money, because sometimes one of the things that worsens the whole situation or gives give hands to some of all these scammers is because of our urge and that greed part of us. We want to make money by all means and all of that. So they should reduce it. They should tame that urge to make money by all means. Let them go out and work. When you work, even the Bible says that there is fruit for a hard-working person. So a lazy person should not blame anyone if he or she is being scammed.
No, but they have been trying to scam me. But because of the knowledge that I have about scam, I was able to curb their scamming tactics. If you are contented with what you have, you won't be scammed. It's only when you expect to have more is when you'll be scammed, because they know that everybody is in need of one thing or the other, and they know that want is unlimited. Want is what you can continue to search till infinite. So if you are contented with what you have, there's nothing like scam to me. Then have a strong password, don't reveal everything about you on social media.
I think there are greedy, selfish people.
They should be careful. Everybody should be very careful. That's what I feel like. That's what I need to tell them.
I don't think scammers should be in Nigeria. Like we will do things that will stop it, because lack of job causes scammers, scamming people. Like even everybody is afraid to join anything because of scammers.
You have heard it from people. Online scams are real and anyone can fall victim. The key to stay safe is to verify information before rushing into them. If you found this video helpful, like, subscribe for more conversations and real life story. I am Chinaza Ifeanyi, Aneke TV.
Police checkpoints. We're on the streets of Enugu to hear how Nigerians are affected by the police checkpoints. Do they feel safe or harassed?
I think that the potential to be harassed exceeds the potential to be safe. The occurrences that we witness on the road, right, especially for, let's say, the commercial transporters, right, the potential for them to be harassed is more significant than for them to be.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Ofotu, and a beautiful morning to everyone watching today. You're tuned into Sunrise on Aneke TV, where every sunrise starts with that delightfulness, that beautiful joy, and of course, that special sunrise vibes to help us throughout our day. And bringing you sunrise today, I am Deborah Wakuba.
And good morning to you, our global audience. I'm Uche Osai. And Deborah, you're looking good.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're getting ready for the weekend, right?
Nope.
Okay, so wherever you are, at home, in your office or in traffic, thank you for letting us into your space this beautiful morning. We're here to refresh, inform, and motivate.
Yes, and of course, it's Thursday, 18th December 2025, and it's another new edition, another bright new day of sunrise on Aneke TV. And today we've got you that full package or power-packed morning where we give you our latest stories, what's trending, our entertainment, sports, our news updates, and of course, that special sunrise vibe to help us throughout the day.
So, grab that cup of coffee or tea, relax, enjoy the ride, because the sunrise is here.
All right, now we'll be starting off with our quote of the day, with words that are thoughtful, words that are inspiring, words that offer insight to whatever we do to keep us focused and stay well driven.
Then it's straight into the day's top headlines. All the key news update that you need to remain informed will be served hot and tasty.
Yes, and after that, we'll be giving you our weather forecast for today, covering major cities across the southeast and beyond, so you know what to expect before you step out.
And later we'll wrap things up with some fun global celebrations to lift your spirit and leave you smiling.
All right, now let's move over to our morning show inspiration segment, where the quote says today, a comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Now this quote is an anonymous quote that says a comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Now this quote is gentle but powerful reminder about growth and change. Now it's talking about our comfort zone being safe, our familiar spaces where things feel easy and predictable. It's beautiful because there's peace there, no pressure, no fear, no risks. But the message today is clear, stating that when we stay too long in our comfort zone, it limits us to our potentials. Also, it's also saying, whether personal, professional, emotional, that when we grow personally, professionally, or emotionally, usually we should try something new, we should take risks, we should face uncertainty, and also push past our fear. Now it's also advising us to move away from our comfort zone into a more or just simply saying we should think outside the box, and not every time we're trying the same thing all over and all over again. Now also, it's also saying just like muscles don't grow without resistance, people don't grow without challenge. Now if you're constant in one particular place, if you're doing the same thing every day, if you're staying on the same pace, you'd find out you would not grow. There will be no change, but instead, we should try shifting away from our comfort zone. Mr. Ocha, I'd like to know your thoughts on this one.
All right. This morning, this is a very straightforward one, coming from, we are being told not to relax for long, that when we get over comfortable from where we are, then you begin to see that perhaps there's no longer room for growth. For you to excel in life, for you to grow, for you to make headway, you need to get out of your comfort zone. So you need not be afraid of situation, thinking ahead of what you're going to witness. Rather, make that move first. Then when we take that step, they say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. Yeah. So you take that step. Do not be afraid to take that initial step. Just like a little baby, when you see a baby crawling and you want to get the baby to, to stand up, you see that they are very, very scared. Yeah. And then immediately you see them, they're able to stand. One very interesting thing is that once they're able to stand on their feet, even before they get very stable, they want to start running. That's what kids usually do. You see that by standing up, they're able to overcome fear. And that's what every one of us should be able to do, either in our professional life, in our family life, as a business person, wherever you are. Is it in Obwete market, or you're in main market, or you're in Alaba International market? Is market everywhere. Once you get comfortable at that domain where you are, look at expansion beyond your line, beyond your sphere. If you've been, a distributor for long, start. When you grow into importation and you've imported for long, why not become a manufacturer? And that's what this quote is telling us this morning, that we shouldn't just relax at our comfort zone. Why you begin to fear about how do I get into importation? You don't need to start importing 20 feet at a time. No. Start with, you combine with people. Start getting as little as you can, and technology has made it easier that you can bring in not just in 20 feet containers, but through collaboration with people. You're able to bring in, even if it's half of 10 feet, you're able to bring in, then start from there. You can get into being able to, get in 20 feet. And from importation, don't relax, don't relent, don't remain there. Yes, there are challenges, but with one step at a time, you'll be able to overcome that challenge. And then from importing 20, 40 feet containers, look at manufacturing that product yourself. You take account what will it cost me to be able to produce these products in Nigeria or outside Nigeria. If you remain more comfortable at the point of where you are importing, then you see that other people may go into manufacturing, and then your prices can no longer, you can't compete with the manufacturers here, whereas you can be able to take advantage of that insight by going into manufacturing. Are you in your workplace and you're scared of going on courses, enriching yourself, getting people around you for you to learn from and then impart on them? Then you will become stagnant and you will see yourself someone fresh. The Harvard boys, like Wallace said, they will bring a young Harvard boy to come and help you in your department. So you shouldn't be scared to relate with people, take courses, don't stay stagnant, don't remain at that point. Do not be afraid to learn new things. Then go out, improve yourself, and you see yourself by taking that discomfort, you're moving out of your comfort zone to learn new things. And I tell you, I met people, while growing up, men, some of them whom you see on television, who do not know how to, to come and check their email for them. And they're in these organizations, and at a point, who like, sir, you can learn this thing, you can be able to do this thing. You say, are you serious? At my age, yes. Then we organized a workshop where some of them who were interested began to learn the computer. And before you know it, they're able to handle their things themselves. You no longer need to bring in someone new, you understand, to do that part of the job. By sending them home, that you're getting younger people who are techie savvy, right? Now they can operate the system themselves. They can do all the work. They can bring in their weight of experience because they were able, to move out of their comfort zone and learn new things. And those of them who refuse to learn new things were shipped out. That's what we're saying. With you taking that risk, moving out of your comfort zone, you will acquire new knowledge. You will have the opportunity to expand beyond where you are. It's never easy, baby. It's not going to be easy. No, there's a lot of challenges associated with it. But just like that little baby, take that first step. you see that you will be able to run.
All right, thank you very much for that. Now, please, wherever you are this morning, if you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, trying something new like learning a skill, chasing a dream, making a bold decision, just try and remember this, that discomfort might just be an answer of growth, or rather, it might be the sound of growth happening. So if you're having this discomfort in trying something new, just remember that it's not easy, and also we should try and move away from our comfort zone and try something new. Let's be bold enough to take that risk. Let's be bold enough to take that first step towards change. And also, please do not forget that each new sunrise is a platform or an opportunity for us to grow. It's an avenue where we try something new or simply be more present in whatever we do. And let us know what this quote means to you. You can drop your thoughts on our social media platforms like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Or call our phone number 070-3043-7117. And up next is the weather report.
Yes, next we'll take a look at the weather reports across major cities in the southeast today.
Yes, I'll be starting off with Oka. In Oka, expect dry vibes with lots of sunshine. As the day warms up, you wake up to pleasant sunshine, and by midday, things will heat up nicely, perfect for some outdoor plans. Temperatures roughly at 25 to 33 degrees Celsius with plenty of sunny moments and very high UV. So sunscreen is your friend.
All right, good morning, Enugu. Over to the coast city. You will enjoy a mix of sunshine and some clouds. Morning stars mild. By early afternoon, you are cruising into warm territory. It will feel like a lovely tropical day. Expect highs around 34 to 35 degrees Celsius with warming sunshine and gentle clouds, helping keep the heat comfy.
Yes, and in Abakaliki, good morning, Abakaliki. The sun will be out and about with cloud patches, keeping things interesting. Warm temperatures around 33 to 35 degrees Celsius will dominate, so it will be perfect, sunny with cloud friends vibe.
And good morning, Imo State. Over to Owerri is another beautiful southeast morning. Expect toasty temperatures peaking in the low 30 degrees Celsius with clouds drifting by and giving the sun a little break here and there. Daytime highs near 34 degrees Celsius with comfy warm evenings.
And in Umahia, it's a lovely day. Umahia today will bring warm and partly cloudy skies with just enough cloud cover to keep the sun from getting too intense. Temperatures will tick up towards the low 20 degrees Celsius with a bright feel overall.
So, wherever you are in the southeast today, stay safe, stay cool, dress light, enjoy your morning, your afternoon. But do remember that either rain or shine, we've got you covered. And this is your weather reports across major cities in the southeast today. We'll go on a short break and we'll return with more updates. The Insight with Uche Osai.
Having the political will to confront whatever is the challenges.
Igbo man wrestles with
the tortoise that had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of ideas, and the tireless.
It will take the broad mind of government in power to say, let there be electoral reform, no matter whose heart is God.
I was there. We did everything. All of us came and supported him with our last blood.
In-depth analysis, expert views, real voices, uncover the stories shaping Nigeria today. Deep dive, honest, unfiltered, only on the Insight with Uche Osai on Aneke TV. Join us.
From the tiniest cells to the farthest galaxies, life holds secrets we are only beginning to uncover. Why are we here? What connects us all? What unseen forces shape our destiny? Join Professor Jude Udenta as he explores the wonders, the questions, and the revelations that define existence. Mysteries of life, where every answer sparks a new discovery. Watch now on Aneke TV every Monday. From the tiniest cells to the farthest galaxies, life holds secrets we are only beginning to uncover. Why are we here? What connects us all? What unseen forces shape our destiny? Join Professor Jude Udenta as he explores the wonders, the questions, and the revelations that define existence. Mysteries of life, where every answer sparks a new discovery. Watch now on Aneke TV every Monday.
You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV. Now we're taking a look at major stories across the headlines today, and also we're starting from the Punch, Vanguard, and the Guardian newspaper. And joining us today, we have Good Hope Chukuma with us on our newspaper review. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sunrise.
Yes, Mr. Good Hope, it's always wonderful to see you smiling in the morning like this.
Thank you so much. I now made this my brother.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Now let's move over to our headlines from our paper today, starting from the Nation headline that says 2024-2025 budget, Tinubu 6 not to 43.56 trillion naira. And on the Punch headline says petrol war fallout, NMDPRA, NUPRC bosses resign as Dangote's petition rocks sector. And in the Vanguard headline, it reads Dangote quake, Farouk falls. And in the Guardian headline says tax reforms push back revenue crisis threaten 2026 fiscal plan. And our paper today starting from the Punch headline that says petrol war fallout, NMDPRA, NUPRC bosses resign as Dangote's petition rocks sector. There's been a major shake-up in Nigeria's oil and gas regulatory world. The bosses of two key agencies, which is the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, known as the NMDPRA, and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, known as NUPRC, have resigned from their posts amid a high-profile dispute involving billionaire industrialist Aliko Dangote. Now, Dangote publicly accused the outgoing NMDPRA boss of corruption and mismanagement, demanding a probe into how fuel imports and regulations will be handled, especially ways, he says, undermined local refining efforts. Mr. Auta, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
All right. Excuse me. Looking at that headline this morning, seeing the resignation of these gentlemen, and I beg you, help me through that headline one more time. You understand?
It says petrol war fallout, NMDPRA, NUPRC bosses resign as Dangote's petition rocks sector.
For me, this is not surprising. It's been long making. You understand? Remember that there's been an ongoing infighting in the petroleum sector since Dangote came on stream. Right? You will see that between the various factors factors or factions that that come into equation when the oil sector, the petroleum sector, both the upstream and the downstream sector is involved. There has been this clash even with importers and marketers of petroleum products in Nigeria. And so when I see this headline this morning, I for one, I am not shocked. But what is more shocking is that the business mogul himself is now ready, has folded his sleeves and is ready for a total fight. You will not forget that since December 12th, we had Dangote called for the reduction in price of PMS, where he reduced the S-depot or S-gantry price from PMS from 828 naira to 699 naira per liter, which is about 129 rate cuts from the per liter, which is very huge. And he gave that order that the petroleum should be sold, at not more than 740 naira, and the fleet station MRS being controlled by the Dangote refinery, has complied to this very directive. You know that there are many people who are irked because they are losing money. Talk about the importers and depot owners, you understand, are bound to lose money as they are forced to slash their prices as a result of this directive from the Dangote refinery. They are not happy with this whole scenario, which like I did tell you, would lead to more infighting in the petroleum sector. And having said all that, I may shock you that it is estimated that from what had been imported as of November, that these importers and depot owners will lose as much as 258 billion naira, and nobody would want to lose such amount smiling. They will get up for a fight. But more, interesting is that Dangote, came out to accuse Farouk Ahmed of the NMDPRA of economic sabotage, and telling ICPC, the corruption agencies, to investigate how he is able to afford to pay 5 million for his children's school fees. That there should be investigated. How did he come about such homogeneous amount? That they should check his earnings. Throughout his career, how was he able to afford $5 million, to pay for school fees in Switzerland? And that is a very, very big, allegation. And this morning we are being told that the Farouk Ahmed of NMDPR has resigned with his counterpart Benga Kumalafe in the upstream sector. But beyond the resignation of these two gentlemen, the president has gone ahead to appoint new persons for subject to clearance by the Senate, to take over the various positions. But for me this morning, what is more particular to me is not the resignation of these gentlemen, but is that we do not sweep this under the carpet because they've resigned from office. I think that there should be thorough investigation as well, because the allegation is weighty, and coming from Dangote himself makes it even more believable. But like they say, it's not just about resignation. These gentlemen have to be brought to account. Let us know it's interesting, the Nigerian populace, because a long time ago people have been calling for probe into the Nigerian petroleum sector. Do remember that we were shouting about it over time, giving about how many $1 million that's been voted for the rehabilitation of the Nigerian refineries. The 4 refineries up to this moment are not producing up to the maximum, up to even the minimum requirements of these refineries. And I can tell you, like we always do, that if these refineries are up to par, they will be able to compete favorably with Dangote refinery. But because they are not working, we want to know where this huge investment went to. Until this moment, we've not been told the outcome of that very investigation. We still want to know. And amidst that whole investigation, here we've seen an allegation of another corruption, talking about economic sabotage coming from Dangote himself. So men who are in public sphere should be well accountable. They should be held accountable, and they should be able to account for the moments where they are in office. If they are enriching themselves from the public position that they are occupying, $5 million for your children, is such a homogeneous amount that one should be able to explain how it comes about this whole kind of money. Are you being in the sabotage of making the Dangote refinery not to function effectively. Remember the myriads of strikes that we witnessed as a result since Dangote industry has come on stream. And this price lash that we see this period is about the 20th price lash, which in all, even though not very good for the marketers and the importers of petroleum products, but for the consumers in Nigeria, it is quite welcome for them, you know, and that we are still looking forward. The average consumer, the Nigerian consumer, are still looking forward for more reduction. You understand? So they do not understand when the marketers and importers, you know, go and daggers drawn and to Dangote refineries, you know, for them it should be in such a way that petroleum is affordable to the generality of Nigeria. After all, their country, Nigeria, produces crude oil, so they do not see the reason why they should be, you know, buying fuel at 740 naira in the first place. But that does not take away that Dangote, in his, you know, kindness, has given the Nigerians a Christmas to remember. And with this, we are not expecting to see queues at the fleet station as is usual during festive period in Nigeria. So, but having said that, like I did mention, the issue here is a very weighty one and should go beyond the resignation of this very gentleman. There should be a thorough investigation, and for me, this investigation should be made public, you know, and the outcome, you know, when they are found culpable, to, because the allegation of economic sabotage in other crimes can attract as maximum of life imprisonment. So people shouldn't just walk away freely like that, you know, because you've been accused and then you resign either forcefully or voluntarily. But what matters is that the government should see that the law takes its course. If at the end of the day they are investigated and they are found culpable, they should be prosecuted as a deterrent to other people, you know, because now we're seeing that the legislature would go ahead to clear. I know the president has submitted new names for clearance, one a man and a female, who were told have gathered experience from the petroleum industry, and we expected that they will be able to bring their knowledge on board as well. But by prosecuting this individual, not just the newcomers into the sectors, but all public office holders should know that at one point or the other they will be held accountable for their, you know, to account for their stewardship. And the Nigerian people should not be shortchanged for any reason at all. So for me, I am happy that yes, they've resigned, but I will be happier to see that the law takes its course. But if at the end of the day they are found innocent, then the Dangote himself should be able to apologize, and beyond apologizing, you understand, he should equally, you know, see to it that they will sanitize this environment. This rancor shouldn't be there. And I tell you why I am most angry about it, why you're witnessing this rancor, is because it's only Dangote refinery. He has come to change the narrative, you know, and change is not easily accepted by everybody. If the Nigerian refineries were working, Dangote would be facing stiff competition from the Nigerian refineries. Look at the Kaduna refinery that is not working. Is it producing? Go to the Warri refinery, move down to Port Harcourt. Are they producing? They should have given Dangote the necessary, you know, competition, not the importers of petroleum products, which Dangote has come out to claim that they bring in adulterated, inferior quality products that his own is straightly refined, you know, and up to international standard. And the competition, like I do say, should have been with the Nigerian refineries and Dangote. But one thing that should not be taken away is that we should encourage more refineries to come on board. At the end of the day, it will be good for consumers, it will be good for the generality of Nigerians as well. So, Mr. Goodhope.
Okay, so looking at this issue of the boss resigning from the whole thing, you understand that several things has happened over the years where someone is accused of something and then they go on to say they are not doing the work again. We have seen this happening over and over. We saw it happening even in Enugu State, where there was a little issue and the minister said he's not going to continue again. He resigned, not because of on any account of anything actually, but it's just on an account of things not properly taken into account. Just like Mr. Uche have said, many times it's good that not just as people resigning, but as you have said, let these things be taken up. Let the cases be taken up, because if it is taken up, it will give an establishment of due justice, due process, that not you don't just want to escape from the pitch or from wherever you are, saying, okay, you are tired, you're not doing it again because you are accused. I feel myself that the boss should come and as he has resigned, he should also be investigated. He should also face some panels as he has been accused. Looking at what Dangote said initially, you understand that he himself, Dangote, is informed. He knows how much this guy is in. He knows how much, as someone in the oil sector, he knows how much that goes into these people's accounts. He knows how much they in from the federal government. He knows how much, he knows the game of the import and exports. Now, if he has accused someone of having to sponsor an extra curricular activities with an extra amount of money, that means that there's something that we need to see. But that is up to the federal government, and that is up to the person who we are investigating, or who, that's up to the people who I'm sure that in the next 2 months, by next 1 month, basically, we'll see the end of this, because it's not just going to end by investigation, it's going to also end by the two parties coming together and the rancor, being taken away. That's what I really feel about the whole matter of this thing.
All right.
All right, thank you very much. Now moving over to the next paper from the Nation headline that says 2024-2025 budget, Tinubu 6 nod to spend 43.56 trillion naira. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally written to the House of Representatives and the Senate asking lawmakers to approve a consolidated 43.56 trillion naira budget that blends part of its end and that blends parts of the 2024 and 2025 federal spending plans into a single unified framework. This move aims to end the practice of running multiple budgets at the same time, which the president says will improve transparency, accountability, and performance in government spending. And the budget includes funding for things like statutory transfers, debt service, recurrent non-debt spending, capital and development projects.
All right, Mr. Goodhope, let's hear from you first on this.
Okay, so looking at this budget that Mr. President wants to present to the House tomorrow, and seeing the things around it, it is giving this vibe that there's more coming in 2026. But then we are going to see that most of the budgets, or some of the budgets, because Nigeria, from what we have seen this year, has also been servicing debt, and some of the some percentage of this money will go into debt services from what we have seen. I'm sure that at the end of the day we're going to see a government who are willing to make the progress, but the progress may not make, because seeing it that when you're trying to build something and that thing keeps coming back and that thing keeps coming back and that there's not enough room for what is being given. He borrowed just, he gave a permission, he tried to take a permission from the House of Reps the other time to take some loan. And looking at the whole thing about Nigeria and the way we have been servicing debts, and looking at the budget we have right now, there's a lot on ground to even tackle, and I believe that at the end of the day, he will present it, and if they approve it, if they give assent, if they endorse it, then we move on and we see what 2026 will be like. All I know is that once it's budget and it's being presented and it's being given assent and it's being delivered, everything will just start going. But it's now depends on the federal government to know where they want to, or to do what they have already said they will do with the budget. Not just the budget, but what are you doing with the budget? Not just telling us what the budget is or how much or what you are planning to do. What are you doing with the budget? Are you doing the actual thing you said you want to do with the budget? And we'll see what happens over the time.
All right, that's quite apt. Know that very soon the president will be going to the legislature. There will be a joint sitting of the legislature, both the Senate and the House of Representatives, where he will present the bill that you talked about. But most interestingly is that the president, is asking for the legislature to approve the appropriation bill for 2024-25 fiscal year. Nigeria runs budgets concurrently, where you see the 2024-2025 budget still running in 2025. Usually, though it's not a making of this administration, during the previous administration, the era of former President Muhammadu Buhari, we saw where perhaps the 2023 budget is still in play with the 2024, and you are asking, you are still presenting the 2025 budget, just like Mr. President will be going to present the appropriation bill for asking for this appropriation bill to be approved for the 2024-2025 fiscal year, whereas we are now presenting the budget for 2026. So, Mr. President is asking that this time around they give approval to this budget, and this will, harmonize the budgeting. Will no longer need to have multiple concurrent budgets running at the same time. And in his words, he said that this will ensure the delivery of unprecedented high capital performance across 2024-2025 budget cycle. Most importantly, what is interesting for me is that Mr. President realizes that it is not a good financial practice for us to run concurrent budgets at the same time, and asking the legislature to approve 43.56 trillion naira to bring everything together and end this concurrent running of budget is quite commendable. But beyond that, you just brought out another very pertinent issue, which is that the majority of this budget will not be seen to go into capital expenditure, but into servicing of debts. And then the question now becomes, why are we still steep in debt when we are being told that we are generating a lot of revenue, that there's more revenue available and being shared with between the the federating units? The subnationals are said to have more access to finance now more than any government in places. The withdrawal, the removal of oil subsidy, right? So the issue should be that Nigeria should go inwards, look and think how we will stop this culture of borrowing and be able to generate more revenue, from away from not just oil but other means, talk about other resources that we have about, because we'll talk about Nigeria having very arable farmland. When you take away the security situation and we are to cultivate the land that we have, we will not just be able to feed just ourselves, but we will have extra for export, and these areas are not yet harnessed, right? So very apt for you to bring it to attention that we've been a debtor nation, we've been borrowing, and we should move away from that. But for me, despite the homogeneous amount of 3.something trillion, if that will bring an end to this financial rascality where budgets continue to run concurrently, I do not know any other nation in the world where you have multiple budgets running at the same time. But if this will bring it to an end, let's see sanity in budget implementation. Because when we are talking about the president will be going to the legislature, like he correctly observed, to make a presentation of the 2026 budget. Where do we see areas that the previous budget, do you understand? Where have they not failed? Where have you not applied enough resources? And then how do you bring that into the 2026 budget? Then it begins to beg a lot of questions.
Yes, of course. Because looking at the 2020, this budget that is, like I said, it's more on a debt, some percentage we go into debt servicing. And looking at that debt servicing, you will see that just that debt service part of the budget can help the insecurity that we have been facing, can help to fund the security, our security agencies, and get them the right tools, equipment for their job. That is actually what is needed. That's how we can get these things together. But finding, like we talked about, if this thing this budget currently does not, if it can help to end the surge of borrowing that has been going on over the years, or we could say that if it could end the, can just round up the whole thing, so that at the end of the day we can say there's no point.
Mr. Goodhope, first of all, being able to end, a practice of multiple budgets running concurrently, should be a very healthy practice for us.
It's a very healthy practice
going forward.
But looking at it being a healthy practice and moving forward, you know that there are other things that have not been done from the other budgets that were
But we know from what Mr. President is saying is that this will enable us, be able to achieve. There are many areas they needed to funding, you understand, and with this appropriation, if passed, will enable them, allocate resources to that area, and then be able to conclusively end the 2024-2025 budget, and then be able to start when they get approval for the 2026. We're still heading into 2026, and this budget will still continue to run. Then by 2026 budget, we'll now see a single budget system implementation, not where you have 2024, 2025, 2026 budgets running concurrently.
Okay. Now, seeing from what is on ground, we are seeing that this is just to round up the budgets that have been running.
Yes.
And also to facilitate what is coming.
Yes.
But then, we still have the 2026 budget that will still be presented. Or, if it will not be presented, or if we are not going to do budget in 2026, we'll do borrowing.
Yes, no, there's no way a government can work with our budget.
Yes.
But what we are saying is that, yes, he's presenting the 2026 budget, which the legislature will go in, they take their time, look into the budget. By the time they pass the bill, giving assenting to the budget and returning it to the president for assent, you understand, we'll still have to see through the remainder of the 2024-2025 budget. What Mr. President is saying, they need fund. That's why they've gone for appropriation. They're asking for that power to be able to appropriate this money to see to it that the 2024-2025 budget, cycle is well implemented. But going into 2026, we will now have a single budget running. Yes, and that's why I say it's a very healthy practice for a nation like Nigeria, because a lot of investors will not take us serious, when they can't really say which budget are you running, and how do you hold ministers accountable to say, okay, this money that we voted for 2023, this is the level of implementation, and how did you transit from there to going forward? So
and what have you
achieved? So because you've got to measure the tangibles, right? So with this, I think it will give Nigeria a very good upliftment and very good financial practice going forward. And for that, I am, commending Mr. President that we should be able to harmonize, have a single budget going forward as a nation.
All right, thank you very much for that. And now let's take what is trending on the news today, where it says court bans Inspector General of Police and the Nigerian Police Force against from enforcing tinted permits policy. Now, Delta State High Court at Orero yesterday has issued an injunction stopping the Inspector General of Police and the Nigerian Police Force from enforcing the tinted glass permits policy nationwide, and also the order was granted in response to a legal challenge questioning the legality of the policy and halt any enforcement actions, including stopping, arresting, detaining or fining motorists over tinted glass with the substantive case is decided.
All right, Mr. Goodhope, this is a very,
very
yes, because, Nigerians, everybody has been clamoring at some people going to remove tint from their car. And the question, there are cars that come with tint. There's nothing you can do about it. And yes, and this whole issue of tint permits and all that has been on, the police has been giving warning, extended the period. And now we are seeing another legal angle to it, where a court of competent jurisdiction has, given the order that shouldn't be. What's your opinion on this?
It's important to me to say that most of the instructions, most of the injunctions of court, especially to the police force on this matter, what they actually said, especially this one, is a necessary tool for the masses, people that have their cars come with tints to know that there's still justice that can prevail in Nigeria. That's the basics of it. Secondly, is that there are some of the cars, like you said, that comes with tints. That they come with tinted glass, and you can't go to remove it. When this whole thing started, it was on the basis of health. If you have a health problem, you can now go. You cannot even go to the police to get a tinted glass permit, and they give it to you. If that was what they were looking at, if you don't have a health challenge or something, because that was all they were looking at. Or they wanted to, decriminalize the society and bring in transparency in their security process to also ensure that people comply to other things. I'm not going to talk about the ecological factors that comes with this. Also talking about, but you know that modern cars that we have these days, most of them comes with things, especially looking at the geographical side of the place where we are coming from. There's a lot of sun. We're not going to talk about those things, but we're talking about the police.
No, Mr. Ogunobu, we'll look at those things. We have to look at it comprehensively.
Okay.
First of all, when the police are talking about, removing the tint permit,
Yes.
ordering every motorist to remove tint,
Yeah.
they come from the security aspects, given the security situation
Yes,
that the
yes.
nation has found itself in.
Yes.
A number of times we are told that these criminal elements export and move with ammunition in these tinted cars. They kidnap people in the tinted cars and are able to transit from one point to the other.
Yeah.
So we have to discuss this holistically.
Of course, we have to discuss it holistically. But where it is getting interesting right now is that they themselves that have made the rules, should start considering the people. Just like the other day, the VIPs were an instruction, or it was still on process. Yesterday, the VIPs that would have been taken from this police that would have been taken from the VIPs would have been used yesterday for that protest, NLC protest. Now that same thing goes to the police, because them having to say, if you don't have if you have a car and you have a tinted glass, you must come and take permits. We know that not every car you say is a police car. Not every car, not every VIP you say is from the Nigerian police. But of course, you know other ones. But what I'm saying is, generally, it does not have any effect. Mostly talking about the fact that there are kidnappings going on with tinted glasses. It has been happening, and it happens everywhere. It keeps happening, but we are looking at the security system and the society and the police, of course, to work together with the people to bring in these things to curb it. Looking at that, for me, I feel like the tinted glass issue is not something that should, be a problem. Basically, because we need to go down to the root of insecurity. We need to go down to the root of insecurity.
So in your opinion, you feel that the place should let it be?
Let it be, because we are not, tinted glass permit or not, does not
stop insecurity.
Insecurity.
Yeah.
But we have to start from somewhere.
We are starting from somewhere. Does not start from tinted glass permits. Because how many people? Oh, I want to say this. I don't know how to put it, but let me put it clearly. We have a particular region in the country where the people who are involved in insecurity, they don't go with tinted glasses.
Really?
Yes, they don't. They don't go.
Let's not profile any region, but what I'm looking at, let's bring the lady into this conversation.
Okay. Well, I want to support what he said about tinted glasses or not does not stop insecurity. Yeah, and he also said there are regions where you don't see people kidnapping someone in tinted glasses. Of course, if tinted glasses is something that they use to transport a kidnapped victim or something, there are police on the streets. They stop and search.
You wind down.
Yes, you wind down. They search you've seen a scenario where police officers are searching a car. Now, if you see tinted glasses are being used, there are cases where people are even kidnapped using this motorcycle. Like they don't know where they are. Yes, you can use so tinted glasses now is not an avenue to stop insecurity. Like when you said is looking deep down on those people, sponsoring those people that how would I put it? Those people that sponsor insecurity, that
support them. Yes, is to look down on the grassroots and not just implementing a law that you need to have a permit before you.
Now, I don't want to play a devil's advocate here, but let's look things like, I want to play a good hope advocate for the police in this matter. Remember that the police, first of all, when we start talking about this, there is issue of insecurity, one. Then at the other way around, I was thinking that you make the argument because of weather situation. And then a bad side. Now, before I begin to talk about insecurity, look at why do we have teens? It's against the weather, the harsh weather condition that we have in Africa, where there is heavy sun, do you understand? And when you drive against the sun, sometimes it can affect the driver. So the manufacturers tend to, have these tints, right, to help you as a shield against the sunlight, the heavy sun rays that we have in Africa, right? That's number one. And two, for you to get a tint permit, because there's something as a tint permit, that you must have an eye condition that when exposed to the sun could be a danger to the society as a motorist, right? So you go get certification from the hospitals, then the police gives you that permit to have a tint. Then over time, here is where I want to, look at the police issue for a while. You see that people are abusing it. Not exempting the police now. You just walk in, you get the permit, and even if you don't have the permit, you just drive by the corner, pull up, pay 2,000 naira, you get a permit, and then you begin to roll with it without getting the police permit. Then, from the police angle, we've seen situation where, if you talk about stop and search, we've seen where the policemen on duty are attacked simply because the people in that car, they were not able to see through before they got to the checkpoint. So without the things, the police should be able to see through the car, be able to intelligently decipher the disposition of people who are in this car. For example, if you've been on a checkpoint at night and you see a car filled with hefty men approaching, you'll be able to take some let's say measure, you understand, protective measure in case of emergency. You know that, okay, these are multiple people in this very car. Your disposition will be different when you see a lone driver coming forward. You won't be able to know this if it's a tinted car, right? And on that ground, talking about kidnapping, do you understand? Yes, but what police are saying is that generality of everybody, not just the VIPs, everybody, do you understand, is you're able to have access to know who is in what. When people are not shielded in their cars, they're able to, people know that, okay, this is what's going on, this is this person driving, you see the face of the driver, you see the number of occupants. If there is a kidnap victim inside or whatever, you're able to note that. So that helps the police in sanitizing and policing the society.
In sanitizing. The question is, will the police themselves, will the VIPs themselves, this law, is it just for, this law that was torn down by the court, is it just for the masses, or is it also for the government? Because, we have seen a situation where in the government, not just now, but earlier in the days where laws are being given and the government themselves, for instance, in some areas in Nigeria, there is this thing about traffic laws, but we always see that most of the government officials or well-meaning Nigerians who drive luxury cars would beat the traffic. Now, that's not even just what I'm saying. I want to drive home that point you made about them being able to decipher who comes or who is driving through. Remember, you said something about in the nights. Night is night. Night is night. Whether it is brighter night or darker night, it is night. And looking at the conditions of what happens right now, especially just like in the news the other day, in Kwara State, over there and there, a lot of things happen that relates to all the things within insecurity. When you look at it from this end, I am saying that, of course, the police, they are trying to get in to make sure that everyone plays, that they know who drives through and they know who brings, or they know who is coming towards them, and so that they can guide. We call it guiding, so that they can guide.
All right.
But then, what I think is that this tinted permit issue, thank God it's turned down, and thank God it's not thank God it's turned down, and I don't thank God that it is turned down. It's just I'm just in the middle because of whatever that will foster the growth and peace and sustainability of the society, especially in security, is good for everyone. What is good for the goose is also good for the gander.
All right.
So whatever.
All right.
I
I understand your fears in terms of abuse. Abusing the removal of tint permit.
Exactly.
That if the VIPs will obey the law as well, but we shouldn't, because of abuse, shy away from something that will help the society. And given this pronouncement, I expect that the police should go to court to challenge this order as well. This does not say that I do not, for one, I want to drive in a tinted car sometimes, you understand. But I hope that police are able to challenge this order.
Yeah.
If this will help the police police the system very well, especially against the insecurity that we have in Nigeria, now is welcome. Then let everybody obey that very law, and it will help the society going forward.
Yeah, right. Thank you very much for that. And now that is all for your newspaper review today. And over to Good Hope to give us the entertainment and sports updates.
All right, thank you very much for having me. Moving on to entertainment, we have a lot of shows that has been happening over the week. But there's one that is prominent. There's one that is so prominent. Lately, Mr. Jerick said something. Sorry, Cooler Boy just said something on his ex profile that the show that we're going to have in Enugu, Fino Fest, that is coming up by Saturday, is going to be a little problem for him and his fans. He commended the Commissioner of Tourism for her great oversight towards things, but then made mention of several things that would be a problem to the show that is coming. Of course, you know that in Enugu, Fino is going to be in Enugu on 21st of, that's this Saturday, and Jerick also has a show too.
That's quite interesting.
Sorry, not Jerick, Cooler Boy also has a show too. So they have a show, and now the show is now meant to happen this today, and then tomorrow the next show happens. I don't know what the Commissioner of Tourism would say about that. I believe she's going to bring up the matter and settle them, because these are two homegrown talents.
Is it on the same venue?
Yes, of course. It's just today, this one tomorrow. So fans will wait. Fans will be finished Fino Fest. Fino Fest now comes first. Fans will finish Fino Fest, then go home to return for for Cooler Boy.
It's good for the economy of Enugu State.
It's good, but the young man, Cooler Boy, on his ex handle, was stressing the need for the fans to also have some rest and also.
So, I am not very concerned with these celebrity issues, but I think the younger of them should, in terms of how do you place it now? Who has been there the most? Fino, right?
Yes.
So the younger one should move his own program either forward to allow that Fino get done with his show. Then they should collaborate.
And of course, as Fino is coming, Cooler Boy all would actually perform. But moving on from that, we have Katefe. Katefe is a streamer, a Nigerian streamer who streams on Twitch. He had the OBO, the 001 of Nigeria's music, came to his live show, and his live show went from 1,000, 14,000 people watching him live to 50,000 people watching him live, making him the highest in Africa so far. And in that same show, he backed millions of endorsements, and that really makes him one of the best in Africa right now. And looking at that, you understand that there's a lot of things going on in the entertainment. Well, going on in sports, like I've said, this is the second year exactly today made it 2 years that the World Cup was won by the Argentine team. So I don't know what you think about Lionel Messi. I don't know where were you?
When you mention Lionel Messi, I see Lionel Messi as a god.
Yes, of course.
You know, I see him as the likes of Diego Maradona.
But Diego Maradona did not measure to what Lionel Messi did.
These are different times. You know, when we make these arguments, remember that these are different eras.
Of course.
So you do not really compare. You know, the times is different seasons.
Yeah.
But what Lionel Messi has done, you know, can only be equated to non-mortals.
Well, of course, it can be equated to non-mortals. And congratulations to the team. They are still 2 years counting. We're going to celebrate the third year by next year. And it's just like yesterday from the match and everything. Moving on in sports again. The AFCON competition is taking place. It's starting next 3 days. I don't know how many of us who are ready to get the match watching, but Paris Saint-Germain yesterday did something that has been amazing and could be remembered on all history. They won 6 triples. Sorry, they have won the Champions League. They have won the Tour de France. They have won Ligue 1. They have won other trophies, and yesterday they won I don't know what you say about it.
That shouldn't be surprising to anybody, given the level of investment, you know, that's gone into that team. Is long expected.
It's long expected.
In fact, they are one of the teams that we expect to win every trophy, every competition they go into.
Yes,
you know, and kudos to the owners of that establishment. They've been patient. You know, coaches upon coaches, trying to, you know, put investment upon investment, players upon players, and at the end of the day, it's coming together at a time no one really, you know, gave them the opportunity, and the coach, no one really expected that would do the magic.
I remember they have a lawsuit that Kylian Mbappe won 60 million euros just for compensation, and also FIFA has released their men player of the year and their overall award of the year. Antonio Conte won it for them, and not Antonio Conte. What's that his name? He's the current. Just that he was not the one that took the award. He was the assistant that went to take the award from them, and that really makes it in the world of sports.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Goodhope, for those updates. You know, it's always exciting watching you talk about sports and entertainment seamlessly. Thank you so much. Yes, and then moving over to the stock market update. The Nigerian stock market closed yesterday on a very positive note. Yesterday, Wednesday, December 17, 2025, the all-share index gained 0.26%, rising by 383.71 basis points to settle at 149,842.82 points. Investors saw their wealth grow as the total market capitalization increased by approximately 244.62 billion naira, ending the day at 95.53 trillion naira. The top 5 gainers as at yesterday were led by ASO Savings and Loans, recording a significant percentage surge. ASO Savings and Loans closed the market yesterday at 3 naira 21 kobo, bringing to a plus 200% change. And then First Holding Company yesterday closed the market at 39 naira 60 kobo, making a plus 10% positive adjustment, followed by Lasaco Assurance, which closed this market yesterday at 2 naira 75 kobo, making a plus 10% adjustment. Then moving over to the losers, the top 5 losers in the market as of yesterday, the mortgage and insurance sector also saw some pullbacks, with Living Trust Mortgage Bank leading the decliners. Living Trust Mortgage Bank closed the market yesterday at 3 naira 15 kobo, making a minus 10% negative adjustment in the losers yesterday. And then followed by International Energy Insurance, which closed the market yesterday at 2 naira 27 kobo, making a minus 9.92% negative adjustment. And then finally on this list is Chams Holding Company, which closed the market yesterday at 2 naira 92 kobo, making a minus 6.41% negative adjustment, bringing the total volume of market yesterday at 651.18 million shares that were traded, and a total bill of 25,180. And then we can tell that the market yesterday had a very positive breadth with 39 gainers and 23 losers. The market activities was led yesterday by EcoBank Transnational Incorporated, which is traded as ETI, that dominated the activity chart yesterday with over 5.2 billion shares traded, largely due to massive crossing that was witnessed in deals and instrumental yesterday. And please do remember that before you make any investment in the financial market, consult an expert certified financial market analyst. Please, due to the volatility of the market. And do remember that the market is open and trading is going on as we speak. We'll bring you the market update by this time tomorrow morning.
All right, thank you very much for that. And now that is all for today's Sunrise on Aneke TV. Please do not forget to follow us across our social media platforms, across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, all at Aneke TV. And don't forget to call our phone number 070-3043-7110. It's always a pleasure having you here every day. I am Deborah Wakaba.
And Mr. Good Hope, it's good to have you on the Sunrise every morning. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. And I'm Uche Osai. Remember, you're not here to be average. Be unique. Keep watching Aneke TV to come your way same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. The eagles stand as a majestic symbol of strength, clarity, and vision. Its ability to soar above storms signifies resilience, while its shaped sight represents focus. This is why many nations, including Nigeria, use the eagle as an emblem of nation pride. Eagles do not fear challenges, they embrace them. They fly higher when the winds become strong, rising above obstacles rather than avoiding them. This teaches us that problems are not barriers, but stepping stones for those who dare. To live like an eagle is to stay focused, courageous, and disciplined. It is to see opportunities where others see only difficulties. The sky is not your limit, it is your launch pad. Online scams are becoming more common, from fake giveaways to phishing messages and investment fraud. We are on the street today to hear from Nigerians.
What leads to this camera is for you to get it quick, get it today. And for you to be counted, because in our society today, wealth counts. And if you have not gotten it quickly at your ripe age or at a younger age, it seems that you don't know what you are doing. I advise people to always be conscious of themselves and be contented with what you have at a particular moment.
As scammers are turned to in our flesh, right? They are a nuisance to the community now. People should be very, very careful. Don't be quick to give your information online, one. Number two, don't believe everything that someone tells you on social media, because that's one platform where scammers exploit a lot to scam people.
Of course, it's not a good one, because so many people do impersonate, trying to use someone's account, like to impersonate and make money. Some used to, like some come to social media handles like WhatsApp group, they'll start begging money, that kind of thing. So such a thing can spoil people's image, so it's not good. My advice to everybody that is using social media, just be very careful with your accounts. Don't share your personal password. Then if you see any message in your phone, if you receive any message from your phone telling you to send so many digits there, such digit number to that kind of thing, to groups or phones like that, nobody should fall a victim. Don't do it. Don't respond to chats that you don't know. And you see all these people that in social media that does not use their pictures, they use people's images. All these white men images, flowers and animations. Most of them are scammers. Don't accept their requests.
Yes, scammers, even in our current society, you get to see scammers on daily basis. And some of them seem so simple, even just as I'm being dressed, wearing suits and all of that, but without knowing that they have an ulterior motive. And just for instance, like me, sometimes I'll get to see my phone ringing, and I think that I'm getting a very important call without knowing that it's actually coming from someone who wants to scam me in per se. So I've experienced it. And my advice to those being scammed or people from not to people so that they will not be scammed is that they should be very careful. Most especially, they should try to tame their urge for money, because sometimes one of the things that worsens the whole situation or gives or give hands to some of all these scammers is because of our urge and that greed part of us. We want to make money by all means and all of that. So they should reduce it. They should tame that urge to make money by all means. Let them go out and work. When you work, even the Bible says that there is fruit for a lazy, for a hardworking person. So a lazy person should not blame anyone if he or she is being scammed.
No, but they have been trying to scam me. But because of the knowledge that I have about scam, I was able to curb their scamming tactics. If you are contented with what you have, you won't be scammed. It's only when you expect to have more is when you'll be scammed, because they know that everybody is in need of one thing or the other, and they know that want is unlimited. Want is what you can continue to search till infinite. So if you are contented with what you have, there's nothing like scam to me. Then have a strong password, don't reveal everything about you on social media.
I think there are greedy, selfish people. They should be careful. Everybody should be very careful. That's what I feel like. That's what I need to tell them.
I don't think scammers should be in Nigeria. Like we do things that will stop it, because lack of job causes scammers, scamming people. Like even everybody is afraid to join anything because of scammers.
You have heard it from people. Online scams are real and anyone can fall victim. The key to stay safe is to verify information before rushing into them. If you found this video helpful, like, subscribe for more conversations and real life story. I am Chinaza Ifeanyi, Aneke TV.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Sports Wrap today. I am your one and only host, the Sports Oracle, Good Hope Chukuma, and I'm sure you are going to have a good time with this ride that we're going to take on the world of sports. Moving on, first of all, that the introduction of AFCON is happening, and a lot of teams are coming together to have a great AFCON time. Well, looking at that, you also see that Nigeria's national team has arrived. And just 2 days ago, a friendly was held with Egypt, while as they lost to the friendly, to the first of Egypt. Moving on from that, we have a lot of people that have done something in the world of sports. But we're also going to give you the most important, and that would be all we'll have for today. My name is Good Hope Chukuma, the Sports Oracle. Hang on, and let's take this ride. First of all, today we have the Champions League winners has won another trophy. They have won FIFA Intercontinental Cup. They won it yesterday after a penalty shootout of 2-1, and they actually had a wonderful time. This is making it the 6th trophy they are badging for the year 2025, for the season, really. And looking at this team, you see that their men's national team coach, their men's team coach won the FIFA men's tournament coach of the year, and also very own Dembele. Dembele won an award as the best player of the year. These two guys have made a remarkable something that has gone ahead to register a lot of things for us in the world of sports, and we are so grateful and glad to have these guys in making progress and having it all around. This thing is not just for them that they made the progress, it is also that they actually have to show what they've got as a team, and that's amazing. That's so amazing. That's so amazing. Congratulations to Paris Saint-Germain team for that trophy, intercontinental trophy that they have won. Congratulations to them. Moving on again, this makes it the second year. Guess what happened 2 years ago? Exactly 18th of December 2023, Lionel Messi led the Argentine team to lifting their World Cup trophy, and this actually, from a lot of football fans, claims to have ended the GOAT debate between Messi and Ronaldo, who is the GOAT. We don't really think it is going to be a problem, because one has already won the World Cup, while the other one has not won the World Cup. The other one is motivational, while the other one is just making rounds. And it is so important to see that the whole of Argentine team and the whole of Messi fans are excited wherever they are. They are so excited, and they are so excited that their own man I don't know if you're a Messi fan out there, and 2 years ago you guys made. I know somebody who is a Messi fan, and today is actually his birthday. Today is actually. Well, I'm going to tell you today is his birthday, and a lot of them that today is their birthday and they are Messi fans. So if you're a Messi fan, this marks it 2 years. You guys won the trophy. You guys won the World Cup trophy, and there are lots of videos. There are lots of emotions that were sparked, especially the GOAT debate. What's going on in this debate? Was actually happening, and how is it going to be, and who has actually won the GOAT? Who has actually been the GOAT? Like Mr. Uche, we always say that Messi, okay, I think I concur with him, that Messi is gifted, while Ronaldo is talented. You know what gift and talent is? A gift is a natural thing, while something that was given from God, while talent is developed. Talent is what developed. So Ronaldo still is the GOAT for many and millions of people all across the world. If you ask some people why is Messi not your GOAT, they will tell you because Messi is still this, is still that, is still this. When they ask them, what about Ronaldo? They will say, oh, Ronaldo is a hard worker or this thing. But most of them doesn't work hard. Well, let's leave that thing for let's leave that side for today. Looking at the AFCON, we see that a lot of arrangements have been put in place. A lot of arrangements have been put in place. And we have from the Premier League 31 players who are playing for their countries in the AFCON. We have 31 Premier League stars. We have the likes of Mohamed Salah. We have the likes of Ahmad Mbeumo. We have the likes of our Nigerian stars. Victor Osimhen is in the Turkish league. He is not in the Premier League, but we have the Fulham trio, Samuel Chukwueze, Calvin Bassey, and Alex Iwobi, who have been playing a great role in their team, and they are back to AFCON. They're over there in Egypt in Morocco to make Nigeria proud. And I don't know what you're expecting from this AFCON game. I don't know what you're really expecting. What you're saying, the stars, they are just 31 from Premier League that was announced that have joined the team. They have joined the Hall of Fame to make sure that the trophy comes home to each and every. You're seeing at the very first, you have Aaron Wan-Bissaka, the former Manchester United player. We have Mohamed Salah. We have Alex Iwobi. We have the guys from Sunderland. We have the guys Sunderland. 6 of their players came to the AFCON, so that's a lot in the team as well. We have Mohamed Kudus. Yes, we have a lot of them coming to the African Cup of Nations to showcase what they really would do. And that's a progress. That's really a progress to tell you that Africans are making the round. They have contributed very well to the league, to the English Football League. And that is so awesome. That is amazing. That makes so much sense. I don't know what you think about that, because when you look at what the league holds or what is really happening, you will see that it's not easy for a particular continent to contribute a lot to the competition, to contribute a lot to their homegrown games, and that's amazing. I don't know who you are looking forward to have in the AFCON that is coming, and I don't know who you are really going to expecting to see in the game. But for me, I expect to see what they have been delivering in their teams. I'm expecting to see them being at their best, and I'm expecting to see them playing a good, wonderful game. I'm expecting to see the likes of Erwan Bissaka playing what he's playing in the West Ham team. I'm expecting to see Bomo, leveling up. Alex, he will be leveling up, and I'm expecting a lot of competition. I'm expecting a lot of competition. And there are other players from other football leagues across Europe. We have the likes of Akraf Hakimi. We have the likes of the one who plays for Al Nassr, who's Ronaldo's teammate, Sadio Mane. And we have the likes of each and every one of them. They are really going to make Africa proud. I don't know who is going to win this African Cup of Nations. I don't really know, but I'm rooting for Nigeria because I'm in Nigeria and the land is green. So we have to root for our own people to, show support and solidarity in sportsmanship, to drive it home and to show them that we are so in support of what has been going on. Now, moving on from that, Manchester City yesterday won Brentford in a match competition where Manchester United City. Sorry, I always say Manchester United because I think I'm seeing Manchester United coming back to being the best of them as a sports oracle. So whenever you are a sports oracle, you can give your people your own prediction. So please hold yourself. Now, Manchester City yesterday trashed Brentford 2-0. Ryan Cherki scored the opening at the 32nd minute, while Savinho scored the second goal at the 67th minute, making it a 2 goals and introducing him to the next round of the competition. And they are going to play Newcastle in the next round of competition. They're going to play Newcastle in the next round of competition. We have Real Madrid also moving forward to winning Rayo Vallecano. Real Madrid won Rayo Vallecano by 3-2. Mbappe scored a penalty, and Faradaho scored a goal at almost the beginning of the roundup of halftime, and Mbappe scored a brace again at the 88 minutes. You see, Mbappe has been scoring goals in the league. He has been scoring goals. He has been making a whole round of goals, and this has qualified them to move into the next level. We're expecting to see them, playing at the best of their league. And yesterday was a wonderful time for Rodrigo, where he was given the captain armband as the captain was subbed. He was given the captain armband, and that really, from what he said that made a mark for him and showed that he has been making progress in the league. And that's so amazing compared to what has been going on and compared to what has been coming on in the league. Rodrigo has been a sensation in the Madrid squad, and Rodrigo has been trying his best to ensure that he plays. I'm not saying he's not good as Vini. Vini is also good, and both all of them are good. Just that they are sometimes that you see that some people, are playing the game and they are pushing themselves. Rodrigo has been making marks, and you know the Champions League that they had with Manchester City. Pep Guardiola came out to say that he really loved what he's seen from Rodrigo. That Rodrigo played a very wonderful match. Rodrigo played a good match. He was proud of the performance, and there has been recent news about Rodrigo being linked to the Premier League currently. There are recent news about him moving away from Real Madrid. But as he became the captain as he captained the team at some point in yesterday's match, don't you think there are going to be some other things that we're going to see that, okay, he may not be able to come out from the league, or he may not be able to leave the team, as he has the likes of Kylian Mbappe, the likes of Vini Jr. and their coach especially making the round of the game. In another news, the head coach of the Real Madrid men's football has come out to say, Xabi Alonso has come out to say that he's so proud of Endrick, because he featured Endrick yesterday, and Endrick that he loved the space, he loved what Endrick brought to the team. He loved the fire he brought to the football game that they had, where he contributed a lot of chances. And looking at Endrick as a young player, a player who is not up to 20, you would see that he has done a lot to ensure and put the team, even though he was taking just a little back from the team, so that other people can play. But that has not made the coach to keep his praises to himself. The coach has always praised him, and we're going to see what Endrick could be at the end of the game. We're going to see what Endrick would be. We're going to see what he's really going to do, because this guy was signed just last season as he came to the Spanish football side, Real Madrid. He has been playing, but due to a lot of things that surrounding the national team, and also the change in administration of the coaching and also the technical crew of the team, he was set to go and train, to go and get better. But the coach coming out to praise him shows that he could be featured in the upcoming matches, and that makes a lot of sense. And that's what where I'm going to draw the curtain. But before I draw the curtain today in the sports news, I want to ask you a question, and it's concerning AFCON. Who do you think will play better in the AFCON, looking at the teams that have arrived? Because that should be our focus. If it's not AFCON, then it's CONAF or whatever you can say about that. But you have to, as a Nigerian, as someone who loves football, Mr. Uche will say no, that his heart has been broken. Well, my heart may not have been broken as his heart has been, but I am focused to see that my team will win this AFCON. I don't know how much prepared we are. The match with Egypt has already tested the strength, but we did not feature the likes of Victor Osimhen, and Egypt did not feature their best player, the one who plays for Liverpool, Mohamed Salah. So we are going to see at the end of the day, as we face Tanzania in the opening game, we're going to see how it's going to be on 21st. We're going to see how the game is going to be, and we believe that Nigeria and the AFCON team and everyone will make a good mark. We make a good mark in this AFCON. I was talking about it, saying in the news, I want to bring to your notice again that our former number 7, who capped in 101 positions for the national team, has retired from international football, and that is Ahmed Musa. Ahmed Musa, I think I was the first person to share the news, to bring the news to your table yesterday, and that was where I started. But I want to give you a little bit of details of what happened. Ahmed Musa, on his ex-handle, gave that report that he is coming down from international football. He wants to focus on the local grassroots football to grow players who can deliver at his level when he was playing. And congratulations and kudos to Ahmed Musa. We all from Aneke TV, and we all from the Sports Wrap are feeling the vibe. We are feeling what you're feeling, and we are really, 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 really excited. And we thank you for all you've been to the national team, for everything, how it has been so far, how you have delivered and have scored. In 2013 AFCON, you played a wonderful game, and you scored almost the highest goals. And also in the club world in the club world competition that we had, you played a wonderful role there, and that's amazing. Thank you very much, Ahmed Musa. We are so proud of you as a team and as a nation. I'm sure that there are lots of commendations pouring in, and a lot of things are happening already to give you your flowers. Thank you very much, Ahmed Musa. And now we are going to take it from here to meet you tomorrow again for a time of our lives in the sports wrap. And it's your one and only sports oracle, bringing you the best of sports, bringing you what is trending in the world of sport and how it is going. Remember that you are not to be stopped. You are unstoppable. Maintain a good spirit of sportsmanship and ensure that you deliver at your best. I am your one and only Good Hope Chukuma, the sports oracle, here at Aneke TV. I will see you again shortly. Have a good time.
Police checkpoints. We're on the streets of Enugu to hear how Nigerians are affected by the police checkpoints. Do they feel safe or harassed?
I think that the potential to be harassed exceeds the potential to be safe. The occurrences that we witness on the road, right, especially for, let's say, the commercial transporters, right, the potential for them to be harassed is more significant than for them to be safe. Sometimes you would even be tempted to assume that the multiplicity of checkpoints, right, defeats even the purpose, because in some places they even become causes of traffic and hold up. So you ask yourself, what is the essence of these checkpoints there? Recently, we have noticed a trend that even in inner roads, inner streets, you see police checkpoints there. You ask yourself, what is actually happening? Except if there are security concerns that we don't know about, some of these checkpoints are completely unnecessary.
Police checkpoints, once you drive, they will search you, you move. But in this particular area, this our area, this southeast, if you look around, checkpoint here and there, you see traffic jam. And this time around, this is festive period. Yes, we need to have police checkpoints. But the management of that checkpoint matters. You don't need to kill people on the ground that you are doing stop and search. You allow free movement. Except where you reasonable, emphasis reasonable, suspect a particular vehicle. You can clear that vehicle and search where other vehicle will continue to move. So ordinary ought to be a safe way for us.
We don't see the value of police checkpoint these days. We know that police checkpoints, they are there to make money. They are there to collect 20 naira or 200 naira or 100 naira. Once you give them 100 naira or 200, they are not interested in searching you. They are only intimidating people. I've seen them in many occasions. They ask you silly questions. They ask you to open your phone as if it is their work. I don't see what they are doing on the way. And if they are doing, if police checkpoint is actually doing something, many things are happening on our ways. We don't see them. So I don't see the value of police checkpoint to me. Ordinarily, it's supposed to be a nice thing, but that is not what they are doing. They are extorting people. From my experience, because I'm on the road every day, and I see it. So I feel harassed and embarrassed by the attitude and their way of doing their work.
It makes me feel safe to an extent. As a lawyer, they have not really ever accosted me or harassed me in any way. But then to other passers-by or other people during the road, I think most times they do harass. But then I feel generally it's they are fulfilling their duties, you get. So I think they are doing their work reliably well.
It makes people feel harassed. And again, this morning they stopped one guy, searching him from head to toe. It feels embarrassed, and maybe people walking around might feel Onyabuko a bandit or Onyabuko Onyori. It's very, very unsafe. So they should minimize what they are doing. People don't carry what they want to carry. Those people carrying those things are walking freely. And those ones that are very, very safe, they are the ones that are embarrassing on the way. So they should just kindly minimize it.
I don't think it's necessary. In the streets, I don't think it's necessary, because I know most streets, they do have their own, this neighborhood watch, right? So, I mean, they should be better deployed where they are needed, not in the streets. Especially highways, I think, especially this season, so that motorists can feel safe and all.
In terms of police checkpoints, if you don't have any cockroach in your cupboard, you don't have nothing to fear. So getting to a police checkpoint, I feel free, because they are there to discharge their duty, and I'm on my way going to where I'm going. So I don't think that I can be afraid of them or panic when getting to a police station checkpoints. So I'm not scared, because I know that I'm for a legit business.
Police is working today, honestly. Yes. Police is working here in Eastern Zone. Though we know we have hoodlums. Hoodlums are quite different from police. They can stay at a police checking point and start robbing people or harassing people. Then you talk to police that the people doing that.
This is the reality on our streets. Like, share, and follow for more real voices. I am Sharon Uchi, Aneke TV.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us today on The Insight. The Insight is that program where we explore heartbeats of issues, topical headlines that help in shaping our nation. And today, we are taking particular focus on industrial actions in Nigeria. Particularly strikes are a recurrent and significant feature of Nigeria's labor landscape, frequently disrupting critical sectors like education, health, power, and transport, driven primarily by dispute over wages, working conditions, and government non-implementation of agreements. These actions serve as a powerful tool for unions to press their demands, but often come at a substantial cost to the national economy and public welfare. And this morning, joining us to x-ray and give insight on this topical issue is Dr. Ibokwe Chukuma Ibokwe, Deputy Secretary General, Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, and former TUC Chairman. Doctor, it's a pleasure to finally have you on this program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, and good morning, viewers.
All right. Let's just get right into it straight away. I want to ask, just if you can summarize for us, reasons for incessant strike action in Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, when you use the word industrial actions varies. Industrial actions are like steps taken or actions taken by an industrial union in order to press home their demands. That industrial action can be in a form of picketing. It can be in the form of what do you call it, down tools. It can be in the form of strike. Strike is the last alternative. It can be in form of rallies, holding rallies, you know. But when you are talking about strike itself, strike is the last option. And industrial unions apply strike when every other attempt to get the employer, you know, look into their matter or to reach agreement with their employer, when it fails, that is when industrial action, you know, is taken. Sorry, strike is adopted as one of the industrial action tools. Again, there might be a situation where even agreements were reached between employer and employee, and the employer failed to keep their own side of the agreement. It also ignites, you know, a strike action. But let me say that the process of addressing grievance, or what we call grievance handling processes, you can see that conflict is always everywhere. Conflict is at the workplace, conflict is in the family. But when we have conflict in the form of grievance in the workplace, there are stages that the employee adopt to see that these things are addressed. First, like if a labor leader, we start by writing a letter to the employer, be it government or be it private employer or multinational. We would write a letter, you know, notifying the management of the grievance of the our members there, whatever has something that has to do with their condition of service, something that has to do with their welfare. But oftentimes, particularly in the public sector, when you write those letters, you know, stating the grievances and even requesting to be invited to a meeting to discuss how to address these issues, oftentimes the public sector side, government will ignore such letter. You know, they will ignore it. You write a reminder again, it is ignored. Simple request, can we have a meeting to discuss this? It will be ignored until when you now issue ultimatum, because we have stages. Strike, you don't just wake up in the morning and start strike action. So when we have gone to the level of, you know, writing to the government requesting to have audience to discuss these issues, and government kind of neglects such a request, and don't forget that day by day the employees are, you know, tension is growing up because their demand has not been met, and they will continue to pile pressure on the labor leaders, the labor leaders, because if you also don't do your work, you'll be tagged as somebody who have or sold out, or, you know, that government have bought you over. So you get to the stage where after you have written, you will now issue what we call ultimatum. And in ultimatum, you have days. You have days of issuing ultimatum. You have 21 days, you have 14 days, and you have 7 days. So that to tell you that strike don't happen by sudden. Strike don't happen by sudden. So if you are looking at the cost, just like you said, the cost at a huge cost, then that means that that employer have already known that is going to be a huge cost if we embark on a strike action, and yet that employer still neglects to employ some of these procedures to address the situation. That means it was a deliberate act, you know, to bring heavy losses, you know, to the employer, whether it's government or the private sector.
All right, very well said. But I want to still take your mind into this issue, and I want to know how you respond to the fact that the federal government now often accuses labor of being strike-minded, of strike-mindedness in their method and their course of actions whenever negotiation with government is involved.
Well, the government will always say that. It's a defensive statement. It's a defensive statement. It's trying to whip up sentiment from maybe other stakeholders, you know, to say that labor is always terrible. Well, we don't enjoy strike. As a trade unionist, strike action is one of those activities that if it can be wished away, I will tell you I don't want, because to mobilize people for strike, That's number one. Two, to ensure that the strike is effective is another activity that involves a lot of risks. And again, even in carrying out that strike, there are sensitive places like hospital, and there's, we're also conscious of the fact that while you are going on to the industrial action, we should also save lives. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is that the government itself can say that we are not a strike minded when we are negotiating with them. Okay, take for instance, ASU had an agreement in 2009. So if ASU goes on strike based on agreement of 2009, you will say that ASU is strike minded. You have an agreement, you extracted agreement to somebody and you wrote it down and you signed a government and you didn't implement it 10 years to 15 or 20 years after, and the person goes on embarks on strike and you say the person is strike minded. Take for instance, at the federal level, we negotiated wage award of 35,000 to be paid until minimum wage takes effect. Now minimum wage took effect since last year. They started paying minimum wage, but that wage award will still have 3 months arrears, getting to almost 1 year plot. It has not been paid. So if somebody now decides to embark on a strike action, you say it's strike minded. No employee enjoys strike. No employee enjoys strike because employee wants to work, employee wants to go out every day, employee wants to give out his best. But if you are pushed to the wall, that's when we go on strike. Once an employer listens to you, even if employer you are in need of 1 million today, an employer tells you, I can't afford 1 million once. Can we spread this 1 million for 1 year? We will always agree, provided you keep to your own side of the bargain. Every month, give us this until we get that 1 million. In our place, they say that a hunger that has hope, it does not kill anybody. You understand? So if you agree with your government, that's why I say it is more in the public sector. In the private sector, they agree with their management. We can do A from January, B in February, C in March, and everybody will be happy because you are also part of the system. I cannot be part of the system when I'm seeing revenue coming in, when I'm seeing an elected officer, appointed officers in the government enjoying largesse of both salaries and other things, and then you civil servants will keep and be watching. It doesn't play out like that. If actually there's no money in the system, we know by the kind of car the political officers are driving. We know by the kind of expenses they are doing. We know by the kind of salaries they are paid. Then everybody will make sacrifice. Okay. Understand? It's not about the story of the hunter and the dog that went hunting, and when the dog now killed an animal, when they got home, the hunter now told the children that they should not let the dog near the meat, that is a thief. You understand? Meanwhile, during hunting, it was the dog that caught the animal. So that is the problem we have in the service, for those in public service. The money who generates the revenue, who works every day for revenue to be generated, whether you call it FIRS, whether you call it custom, whether you call it immigration, who are those people? They are the staff. They are staff of those institutions. And when it is time to, make sure they are well, your payment is enhanced and paid as when due, now you start giving, excuses, and nobody will take that.
Okay. Before I go directly to some questions, I would want to ask, how has government responses, talking about the various union, the various actions, including industrial actions that's been taken, how has their responses so far influenced the continuation of industrial action in Nigeria?
Well, the responses of government, just like I cited the case of ASU. If whatever, at the end of, let me make it clear, at the end of every, what we call collective bargaining, sometimes even before strike or after industrial action, and then just strike, you can start collective bargaining by, like when an instance I gave you, if we have written a letter to the federal government or state, indicating that these are the grievances and these are the demands of our members. Well, if you convey a meeting for discussion, collective bargaining has started. Now, we'll continue that collective bargaining. Nobody is going on strike until we discover that two things. The collective bargaining might end with an agreement. Say, okay, we have agreed to give you this. We agree, who is two as our side, because in collective agreement, collective bargaining is give and take. Yes. There are the ones you say, this one we can waive this one, we can waive this one, but this must be done. If we extract such agreement, we'll go back to our members and begin to tell them to celebrate that this is what I've gotten for you. And then the members expect that with the next, based on when you told them that it will take place. If they look for it for 2 months, 3 months, they've not seen, nothing is happening, then it's a problem. That means you told them lies. Except you have a paper to prove where government signed, which most time we do have, and then you present such paper. You see, that's why I say their actions. So if we have such an agreement and is not kept to, it will fuel strike action. It will fuel strike action. And if you have an agreement with somebody over the years, you continue, anytime you come to action, you say, I will do it. You come again, say, I'll do it. Even you, if somebody is owing you, if you have lent money to somebody, and you go to the person's service, say, when we take salary this month, just come, I'll give you your money. You said, okay, you leave the person and go, because you already have a date. Then you come again, you say, they pay salary, when they paid it, I broke my leg, I have to treat myself. Please, next month, you can tolerate it, but you will not just keep quiet. You know you have to rant and say so many things there and threaten and go back. If he does it the 3rd month and the 4th month, the next thing, you take other action. Is it that you decide to take law by your hand and go physical, or you now see whether you go and report to other, what other means to help you recover your money. That is what is obtainable in the service. It is the entitlement that government employer is holding. So when they try all peaceful means, all dialogue, and then it is not working, then the next thing is, okay, let's down tools, because that is the one that will affect the government. That is the one that will affect the employer. It will affect everybody. It will affect the employer. But that is the one that when it starts, even not just the employer, people will start raising, when you are writing letter, when you are trying to reach out to dialogue, maybe nobody will be interested. But for instance, you now see we are shutting down, no flights. Then the big men in town will start shouting. That's when they start calling, if it's in the state, the governor. If it's a federal, the president. We have appointment in UK. We have appointments also place. What do you do? This. Then pressure will be on them to begin to respond. But sometimes, most times, you see what they do? When they call you, they will now take a promise that they are going to do it immediately. After that promise, you now suspend the strike and go. 3 weeks, you see that nothing has been done. 1 month again, 2 months, and then you start mobilizing again to go back. But for Christ's sake, if the request of workers are attended to, and nobody will be interested, strike, we don't enjoy strike. Even we, like I said, we do everything necessary to avoid strike. It is not easy to manage. It's a very risky activity. People die in when you're organizing strike. Understand? And there are casualties. So it's not, and it takes money. Okay. It takes money to prosecute strike. Okay. Because you have to bring this, you have to write this, you have to even go on air, you have to do a lot of things, you have to get what. There are things you do.
Now that you're talking of money, how does the union get the money to mobilize this strike, being that they are on action to asking for money to fund or payment for their members and all that? So how do you mobilize this money?
No, but you should understand that union, that's what they call union dues. Union is not funded by government. Of course, you know. Union gets its money from their members.
Okay.
If for instance you say, I'm Association of Senior Civil Servants, all our members pay check-up dues.
Okay.
Government deducts a percentage of their basic salary and remix to the union.
All right, sir. Now let's look into the strike actions that we've had this year. Also has been on strike.
Yes.
There's been a question of Pengasin. There's been incessant issues with Dangote refinery. TEC wedded in a lot of even resident doctors as well are not left out in all this. I want to ask, do you think these whole actions have produced or yielded the needed results?
Well, there are two things about strike. Let me not use the word. Strike sometimes resets some people's mind or head.
Okay.
Because what thrives in the circle of governance is, or what do you call it? Number one is that there are these people, deceit. You have people who want to deceive the chief, whoever, whether it is state or the federal level. Continue to tell them, we can handle this, we don't need this, we don't know that, we cannot do that, the amount is too much, you understand? Yes. But I'm telling them we can prevail on them not to. Then propaganda will set in. Propaganda will set in. They will rush to court, thinking they can use court to stop the action. Some will also start writing that if you don't come to work, this will happen, this will happen. You understand? Propaganda. They try to break it instead of addressing that issue. So, well, strike is just a means of registering your grievance. However, it comes out in terms of solving the problem. They are two different things. First is that for somebody to come out and say, I will not work again today, all of us will not go to work, it means that that thing is very serious.
Okay.
It's very serious. When you see a woman that is being beaten by the husband in the house for a long time, you know, she's not a complete. The day she comes out to stand outside to shout, everybody come, will see what this man has been beating me for the past 2 years. That means she can't bear it anymore. So a strike is when you get to a stage we cannot tolerate it anymore. Strike is when we get to the stage that the employer is seeing you as there's nothing you can do. Are you getting me? When you want to force the policy on top of people, when you want to force people to when they are telling you these are the negative tendencies that will come out of these policies, and you say, no, I must do it. And people know that if you implement this, look at how it's going to be. And at a time we say, no, we have gotten to a stage that we can no longer bear it. Then that is, strike is just crying out.
Okay.
Strike is workers crying, staff, public servant or any group of workers crying out to say this is too much, we cannot bear it anymore. Let the world hear our voice. Now we have cried. No, there is no strike that you can witness in this country that discussion, when the labor leaders begin to tell you when the discussion started and what they have done, series of meetings and requests they have made. That's why I say strike is not by sudden. It's not by sudden. So if somebody have tried to keep calm and let us be talking, nobody will hear our voice outside. And at the stage you took it for granted and say they can only talk, they can't do anything. Then that is when that person will shout and start taking action. So that is what happens in strike. When the workers can no longer and the union can no longer bear it again, then they will cry out to the whole world. Because also when you are embarking on strike, it affects even not just the employer, it affects the whole society. Okay. And we put these things into consideration. All those years and months of please let's resolve now, please let's settle, is to avoid the effect it will have on the economy and the society at large.
Yes.
We try to prevent it because we know that when you have a strike for a day, we know the quantum of loss that is accrued to the nation.
All right. And I wanted to ask to that loss, the consequences, the economic consequences of strike actions in Nigeria, especially in critical sectors like health, education, and the oil sector. Do you take that into account when you are negotiating with government and when you decide that strike is the only way out?
Well, like I said, we try every other means. Strike is the last option. Is the last option. Now, who is the person? You are talking of education sector. You are talking of health sector. Who is the person embarking on strike in the health sector? Is it not you have the doctors? Yes. You have the nurses. Yeah. If they are not satisfied, if you have not taken care of them, can the health sector function? That machine there, is still going to operate itself? Even if you buy the best machine in the whole this world and put it here, except to have robots, except we have gone to the stage in Nigeria where we can buy robots to operate, then no problem. You can make do with that. So you are even playing with the life of the person in the hospital, because if somebody is not well taken care of, is not concentrating, is always feeling disenchanted in the work, he might even, instead of giving chloroquine, he will give another one. Instead of giving this injection, he will carry another one and give somebody, and the person will just die. Because he's not happy with the place. He's not happy with the work. So, but let him be happy, doing it, with all his mind. That's what we're asking for. 2, equip him to do it. Don't go and create a hospital somewhere and no equipment there. And you just leave the doctors and nurses just battling without nothing and watching patients dying because there was no equipment and nothing to treat them. That is why they shout out. They say first, the remuneration. They say equip the hospitals. Let's have manpower. Employ more too. These are what they're asking for. As we stay here, let's reform the universities. Let's equip the universities. Let it look like the modern day universities in other countries. These are things that they are requesting for. They are not only saying it is only our salary. Are you getting it? No. All right. But don't forget that you have to motivate the man who is training children in a school, education, both teacher or lecturers. If you don't motivate him, he will not go to class when he's supposed to go to class. He will not teach what he's supposed to teach. And at the end of the day, you are not getting the result.
All right, Doctor, what you're saying is that...
Because labor is one of the out of the 4 factors of production. No labor. If you won't get labor right, you can't get other ones.
Yes, it's one of the serious factors of production. Yes. So, Doc, in other words, what you're saying is that one may be right to say that the unions are often left with the devil's alternative.
Yes, because they are pressed to the wall.
All right, on that note, we'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll continue to probe on this issue. Thank you for staying with us, and we'll be looking at industrial actions in Nigeria, and we'll be speaking with Dr. Ibokwe Chukuma Ibokwe, Association of Senior. He is the Deputy Secretary General of Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria. Doc, thank you. But this time around, I want to ask. We always hear government talk about no work, no pay. What impact does this have in your negotiation and on your members?
Well, like we were discussing before, like strike, you don't go on strike because you just want to go on strike. You go on strike because it's the last alternative. If somebody is oppressed to a level, pushed to the wall, he will tell you, okay, no problem. Whether there is love, no work, no pay, he will go on strike. So is it because of the salary you will not pay for 1 month? Can you compare the salary you will not pay for 1 month for a particular set of workers that go on strike? How do you now reconcile it with the huge losses that the nation will incur, or that the state will incur? You say, okay, I will not do what they say, I will not listen to them, let them go on strike, and I will not pay them. They can say, okay, we're ready to forfeit. We're ready to forfeit 3 months salary, but let's register a 1 month salary. But let's register our case. Let's register it. By the time you say you will not pay the doctors and nurses and the whole hospital, nobody is there for 1 week or 2 weeks, you take their salary. Do you know how many lives that have been lost? Do you know the impact of it in the economy? So the law of no work, no pay has been there. You understand? But if you think you use it to threaten any labor organization not to go on strike, once they are ready, they will tell you, okay, you can take the salary, take it, but they must do what they want to do. That's when you recover, you discover that what you are paying is peanuts. In the civil service, you are paying a director 100 and something thousand. Then you say no work, no pay, and you will not come to work for 1 month, 1 full month. You want to take the salary for 1 month. Divide that 100 and something, divide it by the 30 days. I will tell you that what the man have lost, maybe 2,000 something or 3,000 something in a day, which is not enough to transport him to work, not to talk. You discover you're not even paying the man anything. All this no work, no pay. But the state would have been, in fact, activities in the state would have gone down to the extent that huge losses.
Now I want to ask.
Yeah.
The protection of your members. We know Nigeria for what it is. Though there are laws stipulating about the rights of workers to freedom of association, the freedom to unionize, but we know that that's not always the case. Let's focus on the Dangote.
No, we have. Okay.
I just want to bring the Dangote workers in perspective.
Okay.
You understand? And ask how you have been able to reintegrate them into the system after the issues. You know, there was equally a strike action. I know.
Yeah, the action is there. You know, one peculiar thing about the private sector, there's a private sector issue. Industrial action in the private sector is a different ball game from the industrial action in public sector, because one, the organization has to survive first. Yes, sir. And it's a one-man. Dangote is a one-man business. If Dangote decide today to say, I don't want to employ again, I don't want to even run the company again, the only thing he owes us is pay everybody all their benefits. For the years they have worked, they have their benefit, they have the entitlement. If you want to disengage everybody, you understand, you don't, because you can say, I don't want to continue this business again, I don't have money, I want to shut down. You will not tell him, Dangote, you must continue to run the refinery. No. But even whenever you have issues, we are not doing well again, we are doing a reform, we want to disengage, labor will come in and say, okay, give us the reasons, because it's your business. We don't force you to continue your business. You want to close it, fine, but let's sit down and say, how many people are affected? Check their entitlement. What are they entitled to as at today? You check their terminal benefits. You write the check or pay them. When you pay them, tell them, okay, you can go to another place and look for another. The man says his company is not a function, but you know what it means. If you are doing it just because you want to, make a point, you have to also understand the input of those people, the training you have given them. They are taking it to another organization. So the issue with Dangote, if you want to set these people out, pay them off. Are you getting it? Because this issue, you don't determine for people. People choose to be in the union. Management don't determine whether you be in the union or not. It's you that will say, I want to be in the union. So for you to say, I want to be a member of a union, and management is now dictating for you that you must not be, that you shouldn't be, It is not good. Not for a large scale enterprise like Dangote refinery. Some people, even there is a level of hotel you have, you can't stop. People who must belong to union. You understand? But if you have all these 1 man, 10 room, 20 room, 40 rooms, now it has not always been easy to unionize them. You understand? But if you have a place like Dangote like that, and again, in the economy, you talk of Dangote. Dangote is not due. There are a lot of support from government, you know, and they are around everywhere to make sure that it survives. So why wouldn't you want to have people in the union? So okay, if you are now telling me you don't want your workers to be unionized, you know what you are telling us from day one, because you don't want to treat them well. Because what is the union? The union there is that pay him as at when due. When he demand for increase and is necessary, you go there and make a case before the management. If you say we should increase from 10 to 20 naira, management say no. Based on our books, what we are making, we can't do more than 13 naira. It is sealed and everybody confirms it. Then you advise your members, please accept it. The organization will have to survive for you to be here. It's not a union will come and be telling you how to run your place. So if you are now running away from union in the first place, that means you have this intention not to treat them well, or you have intention to oppress your workers. That's why you don't want union. Let me tell you, when you even have union will help you to coordinate the workers. Because if you go to NBL, for instance, Ninth Media, we have union. And they have a national union, they have a state union, and they have their representative inside that brewery. So once management calls him and say, this is what we need to do, talk to your people, let us agree, that's all. When you don't have union, you may talk to A will form, 5 will form group here, 3 will form group here, you talk to this one will say they don't. It will not be easy for you to bring them together. That's why even at the public service level, government, they are conscious of that. For instance, in the state here, if you want to issue of workers, you call TUC chairman, NLC chairman, and then GNC chairman, and issues, sit down with them, and when you finish, they will go and bring all the workers and address them, and we move. You can imagine a situation where the governor will have to go and first talk to nurses, finish with nurses, talk with doctors, talk with civil. In the civil service, you have like 8 more than 10 unions. Go and talk to secondary school teachers. Go and talk to primary school teachers. Go and talk to NASU members. You come to university, you have ASU, you have NASU, you have the technical engineering. How many do you have? So before you start talking to them, VC will be talking. But if you just have them together, then you talk to their leaders, and the leaders will go and explain to them, and it is easy to manage.
Okay. No, but there's been this argument. We've heard this a lot of times, that because these governments listings, that's one of the reasons why we're witnessing a lot of industrial actions in Nigeria recently.
I think it is negative. It is the other way around. When a government listens, you don't witness industrial action. If a government listens to you, what does it mean by listening? Listening does not imply just to hear what you say. The concept of listening here means that somebody will sit you down and ask you what is the matter, and listens to you, and at the end they say, okay, this thing you complain now, okay, you need 5 of this thing. The way it is, I can't do this 5 for you. Please, I'll give you 2 now. Next year I'll give you 2. Another year I'll give you 1. That's listening. If government listens, you don't have any issues again now. Why are you going on strike? Even your members will disagree with you. Even your members. But eventually you want some people say no. Because when we come out from negotiating table, we sit down and look at it. What have we gotten? Because when you finish from a venture, you assess it. Okay, what have we gotten? Okay, we wanted minimum wage. We wanted health insurance. We wanted something to do with pension. We wanted housing. We wanted, okay, for now, we have gotten first one and second one. Government say we should give them time to look at the second one. Then we tell ourselves, yes, at least we have done something. Understand? Okay, a situation, you might go to a government now and you discover that what you are asking for is an arrears of payment owed by maybe two administrations ago, or the last administration. Well, you have to demand. Government is a continue. Agree with that, but you have to listen and also let him know that government is a continue, because some of them don't have that. Some regime will just come and feel they want to do something to remember them, that they can't spend all their money paying, outstandings from another regime, and they want to do something for their. You have to sit down on that table, and if the man have said or the woman have said, okay, this is an area, you know what we do? We are going to set aside money every year, every month. If the arrears is 10 billion, let's be setting aside 100 million every month, so that we pay it small, so that in less than 2 years you will agree. Okay. But if you live there, you are giving your concession. I say that you can't stay there and say, no, you must pay it once, bring the 10 billion. Are you not privy to the federal allocation? We are privy to federal allocation. To some extent, we are privy to IGR. So when we make our own demand, we also know what is doable. So it's not as if we are not rational. We are very, very well. That's why in the minimum wage negotiation, labor has to move down from 200 and something to end at 70,000. It's not that we wouldn't, if we are insisted, no, it must be 200 or 400. That's what you get to say. Somebody will say it is not but when they brought this issue of, not only because minimum wage is minimum wage, you have the civil servant, you have the private sectors, you have within the private sector, you have the small and medium scale enterprises, and you have the other pure private businesses, and this is a law. It's a law that somebody can take you, that once you have so number of staff and you're not paying the minimum wage, somebody takes you to court, you are gone for it. You are going for that. Nigeria, people will say, what am I talking? Let me be paying me even 50, let me be eating. But that is what it means. That if in this establishment now that they're not paying minimum wage, somebody will go to court. So because of that, we now sit down and say, okay, let us agree to something that can be paid everywhere. That's how we came down to 70. Will somebody now say you're not reasonable? Will somebody say because government is listening? If government listens, there will be no industrial action. If government listens, there will be a solution to any problem that is any demand of workers or any demand from labor. There must be a solution. There may be short-time solution and there's long-time solution. Provided you keep to it. Even if it is 1 naira every month, they are ready to take it. But make sure it is standby. That is standby. Not to come back again and start agitating before you release it again. No, now.
Okay. Doc, I want to ask, given by the number of strikes that we've witnessed, I'm just talking about this year alone, is there any arrangement or any move to engage the legislature to influence policies that will see to it that government is compelled to listen to avoid these industrial actions?
There is no new legislature need for that. Even the current legislature have covered all those things. Are you getting it? The issue is this. Now, in this some of these policies, for instance, in the pension law, there's the law is to compel those in contributory pension. The law says if they default, if a state defaults in making their own contribution, or even a federal government, after so many days, there's a penalty. But can PENCOM, as an agency of government, can they enforce it? Can now a DG appointed by president now come to tell president that he has defaulted in pension contribution? The next day you are out of that place because you are there by appointment. You understand? So it's the issue of enforcement that we are talking about. The relevant laws are there. Okay, the law now say after 3 years now, we are due for another minimum wage. But no, government will not set up the machinery now to say, by law, we sign minimum wage so in 2023. Okay, based on this, minimum wage new minimum wage should be due in 2026. That the relevant agencies like Salary and Wages Commission should liaise with other agencies like National Bureau of Statistics to look at the economy, look at it, look at inflation rate, and look at other things, cost of goods in the market, and say, okay, based on this, let's do analysis to say we should be ready with the new proposed new minimum wage before the expiration of this 70,000. That is what government should be doing. That's when the government is proactive. That's when the government is there to serve the people. But once you put it that way, you will know that before it's expiring, government is already saying that they are working on new minimum wage. Labour don't have any business until they are called to the table to see what they have done. I don't know if you get me.
Yes.
Then that will come now everywhere. Workers will be celebrating. The government have set up a team to work on new minimum wage. Motivation will be high everywhere, expecting it to come out. In that case, you don't need any. You tell them, look at the statistics. Based on this, we are moving it for 70,000, maybe to 120. That this is just this. My dear, they will clap for you. They will clap for you. They will celebrate you. You know, Nigeria, we are quick to celebrate people for just one little thing. You forget all the punishment we have had for years. They will celebrate you. And in that case, you will not be talking of industrial action. Why do we have agencies like this Salary and Wages Commission? Is it only when you finish direct them to compute? They should also be part of knowing that salary has to be adjustment, has to be done. It should liaise with agencies like National Bureau of Statistics and other agencies to be ready to adjust salaries. There are places to do upward review and downward review. If tomorrow things start normal, things became normal now, dollar come down to maybe 500 naira or 300 naira per dollar, and then petrol and whatever now start coming down. Somebody can do a downward review and say, too much money in people's. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that government should be proactive. Don't wait for like this one now. Next year now, they wait until we start our action. It is when we start rally, demonstration here and there. That is when they will set committee. That's fire brigade approach. It doesn't show somebody who is in administration. So the legal thing you are talking about, the law, they are relevant. How many agencies do we have in this country? For all these things, there are agencies that is their job to monitor it and follow it up. You don't need to go and create a new one.
All right. Doctor, for want of time, there are a lot of issues to explore, but for want of time, I want to ask one line advice that you would give that you feel would bring to calmness this issue of actions, especially on the government part.
Like I just finished saying it, government should be proactive. They should know that these things are not by sudden. Then two, government should listen to the demands genuinely and make necessary efforts to attend to these demands, to address these demands. And finally, when there is any agreement reached between employer, particularly government, both federal and state, they should keep strictly to that agreement. Once the agreement, because anytime labor signs agreement, they go home with it, expecting it to be implemented. Don't go there and promise what you cannot do. If you know you cannot do, say you can do it. Don't just play game and let them. So government should keep to the agreement. It is very important.
All right, that is it for today on The Insight, and we'll be speaking to Dr. Ibokwe Chukwuma Ibokwe, Deputy Secretary General, Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, and former chairman of TUC in Enugu State as well. Doctor, it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Do not forget that on the Insight, your views matter. Remember to send us your views with the hashtag The Insight or at Aneke TV on Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. Till we come your way same time. Bye-bye.
Laughter, music, and festive cheer filled the venue as Aneke TV hosted its maiden Christmas party. Children, parents, invited guests thronged the arena, bringing life and color to the celebration of the season. The event captured the essential of Christmas: joy, unity, and the spirit of giving. The program opened with a prayer by Mr. Eze Gogo, followed by a welcome address from Ngozi Otahumele.
In the name of Jesus Christ, Father in heaven, we thank you at this hour for making it possible for us to gather here at this moment. We want to commit this event, Children's Christmas Day, being organized by Aneke TV. Father, we want to commit it into your hand and ask you, oh Lord, to be the chairman of this event, that at the end of the whole exercise, your name and their name alone will be glorified in the name of Jesus.
Amen. Aneke TV Children End of the Year Party on this occasion of Aneke Children End of the Year Party 2025. The CEO Aneke TV Limited, Chief Dr. Pascal Aneke, the management and staff of the TV Limited, the woman leader of our great party, Dr. Obi Aji. I want to sincerely thank you for being here with the women. And all our guests that are here, I want to sincerely thank you, all of you, for honoring this invitation. Thank you all. May God bless all of you.
Sam Oko performed the breaking of the kola nuts, a symbol of peace, unity, and goodwill.
Anyị na-asị Chineke nyebe gọziere anyị ọjị a, gọzie anyị na Afọ, gọzie anyị na Nkwọ, gọzie anyị na Eke, gọzie anyị na Orie. Ya gọzikwa Aneke TV bụ onye chịkọtara ihe a niile a na-eme. Anyị si ka otuto dịrị afa Jesus Christ.
The head of presentation, Mr. Uche Osai, introduced Aneke TV to the guests, outlining the station's vision, mission, and commitment to the children and community development.
Aneke TV stands as a statement, a testament to the vision and commitment of its founder, CEO, Chief Dr. Aneke Pascal Oneka, a distinguished figure. Chief Dr. Oneka is recognized not merely as an outstanding businessman, but as a dedicated humanitarian and a profound cultural ambassador of Igbo land. His leadership infuses Aneke with a deep commitment to preserve social responsibility and the preservation of rich cultural heritage. Our core directives, Aneke TV operates on a foundation of clear and ambitious goals, ensuring our relevance and impact across all demographics. Our vision statement is to be a broadcast station of choice with quality content and visibility. And our mission statement is to mold the opinion of a dispersed populace, foster national unity, and promote cultural exchange.
At the event, the mother of the day and women leader of the APC caretaker committee in Enugu State, Dr. Ngozi Aji, urged support for initiative that nurture
Good afternoon and welcome to news across the country on Aneke TV. I'm Deborah Wakaba. Glad to have you join us. And now moving over to the headlines. U.S. Embassy honors leading Nigerian content creators in Abuja. President Tinubu gives strong security assurance to Niger Delta leaders. Labour presidency prepare for January talks after nationwide security protests. Federal government introduces new safety standards for popular child-winning foods. Civil society raises alarm over staff shortages, drug shortages in HIV fight. And now to the details of the news. The United States Embassy in Abuja has named 5 Nigerians as winner of the Made in America Loved in Nigeria video contest. The grand prize went to 21-year-old Rashidat Fabele, a final-year political science student at Obafemi Awolowo University. Other winners include Tito Abumere, Jane Francis Odikema Ugu, Cyril Usheshe, and Timile Turutoye. The contest recognizes creative content that highlights cultural and economic ties between the United States and Nigeria. The award also signals support for Nigeria's growing creative industry, which continues to serve as a bridge for international diplomacy and trade. Winners describe the recognition as a boost to the professional confidence and global reach. The embassy emphasized that nurturing local digital talent is central to deepening economic relations and showcasing Nigeria's capacity to create content with global impact. President Bola Tinubu has warned bandits and insurgents that his administration will not relent until peace is restored. Speaking to a delegation from Bayelsa State, he said security forces are achieving silent but significant success in dismantling criminal networks. The president pledged a renewed focus on the Niger Delta, promising to address ecological challenges such as erosion and improve critical infrastructure like bridges. He noted past administrations failed to fully invest in the region. President Tinubu also said Nigeria has turned the corner economically with reforms aimed at delivering tangible benefits to citizens. He reaffirmed commitment to inclusive development across the country. In response, Obia leaders led by Robert Enoga endorsed Tinubu for a second term in 2027. The federal government has confirmed the release of Nigerian Air Force aircraft and 11 soldiers who were detained in Burkina Faso following a forced landing. The confirmation was made by the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Kimebi Ebiefena, in a statement issued yesterday. He explained that the release came after diplomatic engagement between Nigeria and Burkina Faso. According to the ministry, the breakthrough followed a visit of Odua Dogwao by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, who met Burkina Faso leader Captain Ibrahim Traoré on the directive of President Bola Tinubu. The European Union has reaffirmed its commitment to supporting Nigeria's security and defense efforts. EU Ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Gautier Mignot, gave the assurance during a visit to the Chief of Defense Staff in Abuja. He said the EU's support goes beyond military assistance. According to him, the partnership also covers governance reforms, peace building and institutional development. The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) has ended its nationwide protest against rising security and economic challenges. NLC President Joe Ajero announced plans for a face-to-face meeting with President Bola Tinubu in January. Protests took place in Abuja, Lagos, Enugu and other cities, focusing on both physical insecurity and workers' financial vulnerability. Participants demanded stronger action against kidnapping and banditry. The move to negotiations follows interventions by the president and state governors who assured the union of heightened security measures. However, the NLC remains skeptical, highlighting continued threats to poorly paid workers. The union stressed that if government promises do not yield a safer streets and better wages, future industrial action may resume after January. The Nigerian Labour Congress in Sokoto has suspended planned street protests over worsening insecurity, opting for prayer sessions instead. State Chairman Abdullahi Jango said the shift follows consultations with national leadership. Labour leader and community members gathered at the NLC Secretariat joined by Islamic clerics seeking divine intervention for local security challenges. Chairman Jango emphasized that the core demands remained unchanged, calling for enhanced military support and better funding for security agencies. The union stressed that the peaceful strategy does not signal abandonment of the cause, but a temporary alternative to protect the amid going threats. Former Minister Aneke has rejected Senator Eyinaya Abaribe's prediction of President Tinubu losing the 2027 election. Iko described the claims as out of touch with reality, citing growing support for the president across the southeast. He highlighted increased federal allocations to Abia State as evidence of the administration's development impact. Iko argued these investments would translate into voter support. The former minister emphasized that Nigerians are prioritizing development over political posturing. He cited fiscal reforms and infrastructure projects as key achievements. Iko concluded that President Tinubu is positioned for strong electoral performance, even in states historically held by opposition parties. A Delta State High Court has restrained the Inspector General of Police and Delta State Commissioner of Police from enforcing the tinted glass permit policy. The interim injunction was granted following a suit by human rights activist Comrade Israel Joe. The court barred police officers from stopping, harassing or extorting motorists under the policy ahead of the planned January 2, 2026 crackdown. It also prohibited use of the Parkway Project account, a private contractor account, for government operations. Comrade Joe hailed the ruling as a victory for democracy, with a follow-up hearing scheduled for December 24th to determine next steps. You're watching Aneke TV News across the country. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Now, a quick reminder of major developments in the news. U.S. Embassy honors top Nigerian content creators in Abuja. President Tinubu gives both security guarantee to Niger Delta leaders. Labour presidency set for January talks after nationwide security protests. And coming up shortly, FG unveils new safety rules for popular child-winning foods. Civil society warns of staff shortages, drugs gaps in HIV fight. We'll be right back.
The Insight with Uche Osai.
Having the political will to confront whatever is the challenges.
Igbo man wrestles with
the tortoise that had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of ideas, and the tireless.
It will take the bold mind of government in power to say, let there be electoral reform, no matter whose ox is God.
I was there. We did everything. All of us came and supported him with our last blood.
In-depth analysis, expert views, real voices, uncover the stories shaping Nigeria today. Deep dive, honest, unfiltered, only on The Insight with Uche Osai on Aneke TV. Join us.
Still on the news, the federal government is set to standardize the production of Tom Brown, the nutrient-rich, local food. The Ministry of Health is reviewing national guidelines to ensure the cereal legume mix meets strict safety and nutritional standards. Director of Nutrition, La Didi Bako, said inconsistent preparation has limited the production of this product. The initiative targets infants from 6 months implement the standards. Traditional and religious leaders will now help promote the initiative to ensure children receive a healthy start. Civil society groups are warning that staff shortages and crumbling infrastructure are hampering HIV, TB, and malaria treatments. The Tuberculosis Network, NEPHWAN, and Akomin said patients are turning to unregulated healers as public health centers lack water, electricity, and secure drug shortage. Program Manager Teresa Jatau highlighted that The Global Fund COVID-19 Response Grant ends this month, creating a funding gap for disease management. Local NGOs have supplied generators and beds, but these efforts cannot replace trained staff. Groups are encouraging the federal government to increase domestic funding for primary health care without its gains in 18 states could be reversed. Social stigma is also preventing patients from seeking care. Advocates say Nigeria must invest in personnel, infrastructure and supply chain to prevent the awareness of Seven construction workers kidnapped in Oba, Eastern Local Government Area, Kwara State, are being held for a 500 million naira ransom. The victims include two civil servants from the State Ministry of Works. Families say the kidnappers refused to lower demands. The abduction occurred at an active construction site when armed men overpowered workers and took them into nearby forests. The incident comes after a video circulated showing soldiers questioning suspects with AK-47s allegedly provided by local patrols, raising security concerns. Families are appealing to Governor Abdulrahman Abdul Razak and federal agencies to act quickly. Residents demand urgent security deployment to ensure the workers' safe release. The Salvation Army Minister Captain Chukwudima Ofonze has spent nearly 7 weeks in Ezinifite Correctional Center. His arrest followed a church-related dispute after he allegedly tried to verify a rumor involving a senior official. Ofonze maintains he acted to protect the church reputation. A female parishioner accused him of being the source of the rumor, leading to his detention and transfer to police custody. Attempts by family and community elders to settle the matter failed. Ofonze refused to sign a second apology containing admissions he claims are false. His family reports he is facing hardship in detention. They are calling on church leaders and the public to intervene to resolve the matter peacefully. Governor Peter Mbah has signed the Enugu State Gaming and Lottery Commission Law 2025, replacing the 2004 framework. The law gives the Commission full regulatory authority over betting activities. Gaming inspectors can conduct unannounced raids, seize hardware and sale on licensed centers. Licensed operators must enforce age verification and self-exclusion tools. The law establishes a charitable trust fund using gaming revenue, including unclaimed winnings, to fund health, education and infrastructure projects. Existing operators have a transition period to reapply for license under stricter fit and proper rules. The Enugu 042 Niger Brand Chic Trade Fair generated over 500 million naira in sales in 48 hours. The event drew 20,000 visitors and more than 100 vendors, including participants from London and Accra. Individual businesses reported taking off 10 million naira to 50 million naira. Experts estimate a wider economic impact of 2.3 billion naira from visitors. The fair was organized by the Enugu SME Center and highlights grassroots entrepreneurship as a key economic driver. Officials say the event promotes global visibility for local brands and will have lasting effects in 2026, strengthening the state's SME sector. Central Bank Governor Olayemi Cardoso called on regulators to go beyond gatekeeping and build a globally competitive economy. Compliance is now seen as the architecture of trust necessary for market credibility. The FCC endorsed the call, emphasizing accountability and integrity in financial systems. Compliance officers are critical partners in combating corruption. CIN President Pati Singh Boleha urged professionals to lead with ethics. The institute aims to expand 9,000 members by 2026. Cardoso warned that financial systems must adapt to rapid technology changes, including AI, to maintain global confidence and secure Nigeria's digital economy. Smedan plans to formalize over 1 million businesses and provide new funding in 2026. Director General Charles Odi said the agency is seeking approval to launch a microfinance bank and an entrepreneurship polytechnic. The agency will disburse 12 billion naira in low-interest loans to 3 million SMEs. The national MSME policy, due this year, will integrate small businesses into formal economy, offering bank accounts and credit history. Smedan also plans to train former inmate and rural cooperators, bridging Nigerian entrepreneurs to international markets and sustainable financing. British Nigerian boxer Lawrence Okolie will headline his first professional fight in Africa on December 21st. He faces Ghana's Ebenezer Tete at the 30 December Festival Grounds in Lagos. Okolie, a two-weight world champion and WBC #1 contender, sees the fight as a tribute to his Nigerian roots. The card includes French Olympic gold medalist Tony Yoka and rising Nigerian prospects. The event is organized by Aneke and Ezekiel Adamu. The fight will be broadcast worldwide on DAZN, position Nigeria as a global hub for allied boxing and combat sports. Nigerian Super Eagles have left Cairo for Fez, Morocco, ahead of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. The squad completed 5 days of intensive training in Egypt. Forward Moses Simon joined on Wednesday, bringing the squad to 27. Victor Osimhen is expected to join as the full team assembles. Nigeria will open Group C against Tanzania on December 23rd, then face Tunisia and Uganda. 5 deportants have been integrated into the squad. The NFF launched the Niger for the Win campaign among the nation's fourth AFCON since 2013. Actress Doris Ogala is seeking 1 billion naira in damages from Pastor Chris Okafor over an alleged broken marriage promise. The claim also includes 45 million naira she entrusted to him. Ogala alleges the relationship began in 2017 with family introductions and public appearances that created a legitimate expectation of marriage. Pastor Okafor recently announced an engagement to another woman, which Ogala says caused public humiliation and online harassment. Her lawyers demand compensation for financial loss and reputational damage, signaling a high-profile legal battle in the entertainment and religious sectors. Content creator and musician Center FA has become surpassing Shank Comics with over 406,000 followers. A live stream featuring Davido added 160,000 followers in 4 days with 83,000 peak concurrent viewers. Efe also became the first African streamer with 20,000 paid subscribers. Guests included Cubana chief priest and creator Enzo. The milestone marks a shift in African digital content, showcasing global reach and celebrity-driven audience growth. Afrobeat star Davido named Asake, Rema and Omale as top contenders for the Gen's GOAT status. He praised their consistency and international reach, noting the difficulty of maintaining global momentum. Davido acknowledged female artists, Thames and Arista for their record-breaking achievements. His endorsement signals a generational shift in Afrobeat and provides a roadmap for fans on the next global stars of the Gen. And now to end news across the country, here are the main points again. The U.S. Embassy has honored top Nigerian content creators in Abuja. President Tinubu has given a bold security guarantee to Niger Delta leaders. Labour and the presidency are set for talks in January following nationwide security protests. The federal government has unveiled new safety rules for popular child-winning foods. Civil society groups warn of staff shortages and drug gaps in the fight against HIV. And that's news across the country at noon. For breaking news and eyewitness reports, call 070-3043-7110 or follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. On behalf of the producer Chidima Sogwa and the entire news team, I'm Deborah Wakba. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Depression is more than sadness. It is a medical condition that affects thoughts, emotion, and daily functioning. Many people struggle silently, masking their pains with smiles or business. This silence often makes the battle harder. Recognizing symptoms like fatigue, isolation, and loss of interest is an important first step. Depression is not a sign of weakness. It is a health challenge that requires care and understanding. Just like any illness, it deserves proper attention. Help exists through therapy, medication support groups, and open conversations. When society treats mental health seriously, more people find the courage to seek help. No one should suffer alone. Compassion can save lives.
The financial and social strain of burial and traditional funeral ceremonies in Igbo land is becoming a major concern, according to His Royal Majesty Igwe Ambassador Dr. Lawrence O.C. Agabozo, CFR. The elder statesman and respected traditional ruler raised the issue during a lecture delivered at the just concluded Fourth Synod of the Catholic Diocese of Enugu held at the Jubilee Hall of the Holy Ghost Cathedral, Enugu. Speaking on the theme Burial and Traditional Funeral Ceremonies in Igbo Land and their burden on the people, Igwe Agobozo traced the evolution of funeral practices from pre-Christian times to the present. He highlighted how modernization, religion, and social competition have significantly altered traditional customs. Recalling pre-Christian Igbo society, he explained that burials were swift, often conducted within 1 or 2 days due to the absence of mortuaries. Deaths were viewed as having spiritual causes, prompting families to consult diviners rather than medical experts. Burials were classified based on social status, with home burials for prominent persons, communal grounds for married or disadvantaged individuals, and even forests for criminals or those believed to have died abominably. Lavish second burials were traditionally reserved for traditional or successful individuals, although early missionaries condemned some practices, including alleged human sacrifices. Igwe Agobos noted that Christianity helped eliminate discriminatory and dehumanizing burial rites, particularly those involving evil forests. Over time, population growth and migration contributed to the decline of village cemeteries, while modern mortuaries allowed families to delay funerals for extended periods, a factor now contributing to rising burial costs. Modernity has influenced a lot of changes in Igbo funeral rites, the monarch observed. He expressed concern over the growing culture of funerals for the living, where families stage elaborate ceremonies to display wealth and social status, often beyond their means. He condemned practices such as prolonged mortuary stays, house constructions, or renovation to meet burial standards, and the merging first and second burials into extravagant events. Highlighting a recent example, he cited a high-profile burial where 200 cows were reportedly donated, describing it as inactive, as indicative of the trend. These displays place a huge burden on middle and lower-income families, he warned, noting that many now take loans to fund burials of relatives who died in poverty. Efforts to curb excessives are underway. Several Igbo communities have shortened burial durations and abolished oppressive widowhood practices or rites. The Catholic Church has also introduced regulations limiting how long a corpse may remain in a mortuary. Onitsha Donidu's decision to abolish second burials for Christians was cited as a model worth emulating. The Obi of Onitsha, His Royal Majesty Igwe Nnameka Alfred Achabe, has repeatedly condemned ostentatious funeral displays, emphasizing the protection of families with modern means. In his own Ezema Olo Kingdom, Igwe Agobozo revealed that practices that demean widows such as sleeping beside corpses or compulsory head shaving have been abolished. He also warned against the emergence of committees of friends exploiting funerals to collect money fraudulently via social media. The monarch called for a return to traditional values, encouraging families to conduct burials within their means while allowing voluntary contributions from well-wishers. He urged the diocese to update regulations that balance cultural identity with Christian values, reduce financial pressure on families, and discourage extravagant spending. This paper will consider its mission accomplished, he concluded, if it contributes to resolving emerging challenges that impede the advancement of Christian burial practices in the diocese.
Christmas is just around the corner and excitement is already in the air. From shopping for new clothes to cooking special meals and decorating homes, people across the country are getting ready to celebrate the season of love, sharing and joy. Today, we hit the streets to find out how people are preparing for this year's Christmas.
Well, trying to finalize business activities. This is probably the last week before the holidays. And we're trying to see how we can engage and empower the underprivileged. This is the time of giving and giving gratitude for the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ. We spend time with family, celebrating, relaxing, staying prayerful, and enjoying. That's it.
I'm actually spending my Christmas here. So I came to Enugu like 2 months ago, so for service actually. So I don't feel like there's a need to go back again and come back since the holiday is not quite long. So I'm just staying here, then that's it. For fun. I mean, there have been some activities, like some festivals that have been going on in Enugu here. So yes, that's what I'll do, like probably for fun, to probably go for those festivals and those activities.
The Christmas is just like any other one. As a businessman, I cannot say it's been too bad. In fact, it's not bad at all. I can say it's good for my company. Perhaps we'll be having Christmas every day. As far as I'm concerned now, what is in my head is, how will I push my business? I've not thought about that pleasure. Perhaps when we are on holiday, we'll talk about that one. But as far as I'm concerned now, it's about pushing my business.
For this Christmas, I just believe that God is going to do what He normally do. Because for me, as a human being, I'm not prepared. Because the country is not giving us the chance to prepare ourselves for Christmas. But I believe that God is going to do what He normally do for us and to everyone. Because this country now, this year is something else. Just hope on God, right? That's the only thing I'll say. I'm traveling to my state. Yeah, so just to go there and see my family and live with them and finish.
Well, I'm preparing. As you can see, things are not really that easy this time around. But as the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, you can do the little you can. So we are preparing by God's grace. Of course I have. I've bought clothes for them, shoes and what have you. We've done our best.
I'm depending on God. I believe God will make a way because I'm traveling home for my sister-in-law marriage. So that is the only thing I'm going home for. But I believe God will make a way for the Christmas. And I don't think so. The only thing that I'm after is my sister-in-law marriage. But I believe God will give us money, so that we can pay for the Christmas. Not yet, not yet. But that is what I'm saying. I'm hoping on God for that. I believe God will make a way for that.
This year is going to be a great one for me, honestly, because this is one of the Christmas I've been looking forward to. Because this year I'm going to be a doctor. As you can see, tomorrow I'm preparing for my induction. So this is going to be the first year for me as a doctor, celebrating Christmas as a doctor. So it's going to be a very great Christmas for me.
This Christmas is very, very fine. We are preparing it very well. Like, we are preparing for our children. We will buy clothes for them, buy shoes, buy everything for them. Make sure that they look good like others. As in, they will be happy, as in everybody will be happy. Hey, me. Hey, okay. I'm planning to take them to ShopRite if I have the money. But if I don't have the money, I'll take them to small place so that they will be happy to see others.
You know, this Christmas, as other ones have been going, there's nothing much. The same way others have come and gone, the same way we still follow through. Still the same rice, the same clothes, the same everything. So you just get new clothes for yourself if you want to. And you just be happy, that's all. Not really much, actually. No, I don't think there's anything new I want to do this Christmas for me. No. I was thinking of visiting my parents down in Abuja, but I felt like I told them I won't come again because of these security issues going on. I can't travel to Kogi State, and we know of everything, so I told them I won't come based on kidnapping and other things. So I decided not to go back to see them in Abuja.
As the countdown to Christmas continues, families are coming together, planning, shopping, and preparing to celebrate their own special ways. Christmas remains a time of love, unity, and giving, bringing people closer and spreading happiness across the nation. I am Sadia Lukman, Aneke TV.
The Eagle